Hey everybody, Black here. Last episode, Braden did not include my reaction, my thoughts to Transformers Prime, so I'm going to play that now. Okay, first two episodes of Prime, watched. I mean, it's got problems. I mean, there's like the jankiness in terms of the animation, the ugliness in terms of just the visuals, the awful audio, the writing. Oh man, rewatching the first two episodes of Freerun and then this, like, this is baby time. There's some straight up like baby logic that I remember from kids shows, but it sticks out so much more because Freerun's so like thought provoking and mature and subtle. Like what's his name, Raph, the one kid. I hate him so far. Just like when he first sees the Transformers and he's just like, whoa, don't hurt him. Not how an actual child would react. And then when Ratchet has the error message on his computer and he's like, maybe if I just plug into this USB port, I could fix it. Yeah, I don't like him. He's annoying. And he defies any logic, but whatever. Yeah, I didn't like it, but I'm not gonna stop it. We got an arrangement, so I'm gonna go through, and I hope that it gets better. Everything with Megatron is pretty interesting with the Dark Energon and the zombies. I knew that happens in this show. I was not expecting that in the first two episodes. Dwayne Johnson voicing Cliff Jumper only to get killed and then turn into a zombie is hilarious. I wonder if he ever comes back or not. That's interesting. He's very boring. His design is so boring. The other one, what's her name? Miko? Is that right? She seems fun. I'm sure she'll probably be my favorite of the humans. And then I'm going to get into my thoughts on Prime episodes 3, 4, and 5. Okay, episode 3 in the bag. Fowler, don't care for him. Starscream, don't really dig on this interpretation of him so far, but I'm interested. I've been wanting to watch some more. I'm interested to see how it develops. I like Ratchet still. The ending of episode 3, kind of crazy. Wouldn't have expected that to happen already. He's making zombie armies. But you know what? Cool. Yeah, we'll see how the next episode goes. Episode 4 done. That one concludes the attack on the Decepticon ship, saving Fowler, and the fight with the zombies. And we get some revelations that Megatron's gonna use the space bridge to go to Cybertron, resurrect all the dead Cybertronians, have a big gigantic zombie army, and do the monster mash, I guess. So also Jack pretends to leave the show. God, I wish he was actually leaving. He's awful. Yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff. All right, just finished episode 5. So they went to the space bridge and fought with the Decepticons, and Soundwave locked on Cybertron, and Megatron revived all of the corpses on Cybertron, and they almost got to the bridge, but then little fucking Rav got the codes or whatever, the blueprints for the bridge, and they destroyed the bridge, and fake out Megatron death. I mean, he's obviously gonna be back. He's not dead. It was fine. RC getting injured or whatever is lame. I hate Raph, so I don't like that he's a pivotal part of the plot. Whatever. I don't like Starscream very much on this show so far. So him being in charge again, no Megatron, is annoying, inconvenient, perhaps.
As well as Lay's thoughts on Free Run episodes 3, 4, and 5.
So I've just watched episodes 3, 4, and 5 of Ferrin. Still very good. Episode 3 is our first action episode, so to speak, where Ferrin and Fern take down a shadow demon. Off the top of my head, I'm thinking that's what they're called. I have to go and do other stuff, so I watched an episode, went and done whatever, came back, watched an episode, and vice versa. So I'm kind of trying to remember it. It was about like dark magic and stuff like that, and there was a lot of great visual moments where they were using like monochrome and stuff like that to portray like this evil magic and stuff, and it just visually looked very good. So it was like an episode about like learning defense magic and stuff like that, so that was pretty good. I really enjoyed that one. Episode 4 was about cleaning up a beach, or the first half was cleaning up a beach, which I wasn't really crazy about. There were some nice scenes with Fern and Ferrin, especially because it was like Fern's birthday, and she was like watching what Fern was doing, going around markets and stuff like that, just trailing and see what she's doing, like, because she was acting a bit suspicious. And it was really just to buy a gift. That resulted in a really nice moment. And like the whole sunset thing of like just appreciating the small things and stuff like that, that was really nice. And then the end of the episode, we are given another quest to basically contact the dead, which will, I'm assuming, lead to Ferrin meeting or seeing Himmel again. So that was episode 4. Episode 5, we fight a fucking dragon. Episode 5 was pretty good, actually. You had a lot of interesting stuff in terms of like the visions that they meet and stuff. I wish that segment went on for a bit longer and just made it a bit more trippier. Kind of feels like there were, I've noticed this, there's so much in these episodes. I kind of feel like the 22-minute mark is a little too short for what they're putting in, you know. But still, nonetheless, it's still really good stuff. We meet a new character, Stark, in this, who is going to be joining the main 2 protagonists on their journey. Like I said, we meet a dragon, or we fight a dragon. So I'm curious to know how that's going to go down. But yeah, Stark, he's fine. So then, like I say, we meet Stark, our new character. Now, whenever I've watched anime stuff or caught anime stuff, like in terms of like, I don't know, stuff that was like in the background growing up, like Pokemon or whatever, there would always be an inclusion of like a really annoying character. And I can't tell if Stark will be that kind of character where there's a moment where he starts crying and stuff, and I'm like, please don't be like that all the way through. I'm assuming he's not going to be, but he's like this warrior for this village, but he hasn't like fought any monsters or anything like that. So I'm curious to know how his story and how he's going to progress. I just hope he's not one of those really whining characters, because those are the characters I really dislike in animes, and they just grate on me. But yeah, looking forward to what comes next, and seeing what this adventure entails.
So, enjoy that, and we'll be back with your regularly scheduled bullshit. It's fucking Tahu Master, like, punching Karzani in the cock or something.
I'd pay for that.
Their love. Why would you do that?
It's, you know,
Speaking of satanic, I guess.
Kink,
Oh,
you know?
boy.
It's their kink.
Oh, boy. He's gonna...
It's a lover's quarrel.
No, that's just a sex thing, you know?
It's just a
There's
sex.
hardcore BDSM.
Karzani just likes to get a little
The
rough.
police come to Tyler's house several times, and with like bruises on his face and blood on it. He's like, "It's just a sex thing, bro."
It's just a sex thing, man. Calm down.
And he's like, "Who hurt you?" He's like, "I swear, no, we're chill. We're
It's
fine."
Just a sex thing, man.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Hey, and
Hello, hey Dan.
Hey.
I'm happy to see you.
Good.
Sorry,
He
it's,
joins without his mic set up. What the fuck?
well, yeah, my real mic. I don't think really when I'm on the podcast, it does not pick up my audio unless I have my snowball plugged in.
Aiden joined like, hold on, guys, let me just.
Yeah.
Let me just untangle all my cords, guys.
So Aiden just uploaded a review a couple days ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in 1 week exact, or no, in less than a week, 5 days or something like that, a second review by me is coming out of the Wolverine figure. So the brown Wolverine, the brown Wolverine, yeah.
Nice.
So get pumped up. It's all scheduled to go and everything. So yippee!
Hell yeah.
My first YouTube video in like 4 years. And it's a review.
Ages.
Wolverine. So I had to. You'll see. I had to turn my animation studio into a review studio, and it was a process.
Nice.
Dad, did you see my message?
No, which one?
I sent to you on PM. I did watch it.
Oh, you like? Oh, thanks,
Yeah, I
man.
loved it.
You
I
liked
watched
it.
it during my break today, so it was
And
great.
I can't match Aiden's knowledge of anything in comics that isn't like the only thing I know a lot about is Spider-Man, so I cannot match him in any other field at all, especially
Hold
X-Men.
on.
So
Hold
I was
on.
like, but I was like, God, the part of the face-off figures thing is that it's like you talk about the knowledge from the comics. That like was what makes it its thing. It like, you know what I mean? So then I had to do a bunch of research on this stupid Wolverine costume, and then I had to be like, well, I need to find a personal connection to this thing, and I'm not gonna spoil it, but you'll see what it is in the video. It's the most random.
You actually, I didn't even know you were fucking ready. You had it right there, and I was just like, "Oh, that's cool." I'm like, "Oh, I'll search it up." I'm like, "Nope, I don't need to." He shows us right there. I don't want to spoil it, but
I was like, this
Yeah,
is the
that's what
first
I
time
love
I
about-
saw this costume.
what I love about your review, Thatch, is that you gave your perspective, your interests of the costume in that way, like just your personal history with it, which I think it should just be about the perspective of the person and like your own.
Yeah.
Do you have a connection with it? And I didn't know that. I thought that was interesting
I
information.
think most
and
people
I'm like,
will.
No, I think that's so. I never even knew that thing was a thing. So I was like, oh, I mean, I vaguely remember it, but yeah, you guys should watch the review when he puts it out Wednesday. It's great.
Because I was like, what are we gonna do this? Like, what is the heart of Face Off? And I was like, well, it's kind of us having this personal connection. And we talk about like Aiden, like your review. You talk about Punisher War Journal and your dad, and I'm like, okay, I gotta find something in a way into this, and you'll see what it is. It's very funny. So. I also did have fun talking about the articulation, though. I didn't realize that I had developed
You
through
did.
like
You did great. You did absolutely great. There's stuff on there. I was like, that's a great detail that I see no one else talk about on the figure.
I'm glad you think so. I've developed like a vocabulary about the way things move because of animation that I was able to like apply to the articulation, and I think that it really helped. I was like, I'm gonna cover like. Because I hate, my least favorite thing is people go, he's got the shoulder joints, the bicep swivel, and they just like point at it and they go, you know what it's like. And I'm like, okay, but what is the range of motion? Like, I need to know the detail. Like, you can't just point at it and be like, it has these things.
What I like is that you show it and also kind of get into it like, oh, this is used previously in that. I mean, people do go over that, but they don't, like, they just point at it. And I'm like,
it's kind of because Marvel Legends reviewers specifically just always like they've been doing this for how many years, so they're just like, get it.
Like, I love MCU Collector. I just love watching the guy, but at the same time, he's a terrible reviewer because like I just watched his Electro review. He does not pose the fucker at all. I just want to see the guy's range, and even then, it's when he shows it, it's not that great. It's like, dude, I just want to see it. I don't know. It's
like if he has a butterfly joint, that doesn't tell me if it actually functions, how far back it goes, how like there are butterfly joints on figures that do nothing. It doesn't. It's not enough to just say he has one. You know.
Right. Yeah.
So I think we can also say, unless like I get hit by a bus or something happens or I get really busy, the plan is to review the Maximum Spider-Man. I'm going to review that as soon as I get it in the style. And I thought my particular way of talking about articulation would be really well suited for that figure, especially. So
Yeah.
so I hope it works out, and I'm overhyping it. Tyler's gonna watch and be like, "This is fucking lame. This is the lamest articulation."
No, I would. I'd be interested to see you take like a really, because you have. I mean, you've got the breadth and width of Spider-Man figure knowledge, so I'd be really interested to see you like really dive deep into that figure and see if it's at all really improved or if it's pretty much the same or what.
Yeah, that's my plan.
Yeah.
That's my plan. So we'll see.
You can speak from a different perspective that some people may not have.
From a bird's eye perspective, big picture.
Whoa. Yeah.
Whoa. I have two questions. One, has everybody seen the State Farm Batman commercial?
Yep.
Nope.
What the fuck, Brayden? Go watch it.
There's actually two of them.
I'm gonna get the link. There's an extended edition, so I'm gonna get the link. You goddamn loser!
I didn't even know what I don't know what this is. What
I
is this?
shared it to the chat. You fucking idiot.
Sorry.
Like Mike, like Viv heard of this thing. Like everyone.
Yeah, it's ridiculously elaborate. I love the character designs. It's super cool.
It's also blowing up in like the comic book community. It's like being talked about everywhere.
What is it? What is State Farm?
It's basically
It's an
it's
insurance
so
company.
weird. It's not a Super Bowl ad,
Just watch
but
the commercial.
it looks like a Super Bowl ad. It's crazy.
Oh, it's got Kai Cenat
It
and this
does.
shit.
Yeah. I wonder why they put it. I don't know. It's so weird.
Oh, I've seen this. Yeah, I have seen this.
Well, make sure you watch it because there's an extended edition. There's a regular version, so I don't know what the regular has that the extended doesn't.
I'm watching the extended. Is that the actual Jim Gordon?
No, that's a different actor. I asked what your take on. Let me just read it.
Okay.
I said, can you explain why people, for example, Invincible fans, are obsessed with impact frames and tout that as high quality animation when more often than not it's just a few frames of like black and white lines or silhouettes?
Yes, I can talk about that. I mean, you just said it.
I've got an example of what I was talking about.
Okay, cool. I mean, I know exactly what you're talking about already, but send it just so I can see how it looks in Invincible, because everyone does them like differently. So a little.
Mm-hmm. It's the
Great
perfect
animation.
example too, because it says great animation.
Bruh. Oh my god. So no, those are the laziest impact frames you could possibly do. That's like just including like you want to see good impact frames. I say a lot about these movies are negative, but I gotta tell you, the Spider-Verse movie films have the greatest impact frames you'll ever see. You know, there is like an artistry to it. It's like the type, like they'll change the design in the background, they'll add effects, they'll do all kinds of stuff. They'll hold them for a little bit longer. That is literally just doing an inverted mask of the pose of the character in a white background. That is not good. That is like it looks better than if they didn't include it. Sure, like it helps it definitely, but it's like the bare minimum of an impact frame. It's like the bottom tier impact. Like there are some gorgeous impact frames in Spider-Verse. Like seriously, there's some really good.
Bray was sending some One Piece ones that are crazy.
Yep,
like that one.
that's what I'm talking about.
That's crazy.
Yep, One Piece. Yeah, yes, I've seen clips of this guy doing his thing.
And they're more just like, oh, Vincent Chansard is a wonderful animator. He's like the best thing to happen to One Piece. He's
That's
so
good.
good.
Yeah, no.
Him and the girl who did the bonus episode, the letter one, they're so good.
No, see, because there's
probably
like,
just
that's
like
held for
it's
longer.
flashy, right?
It's just that like your brain like it's literally the same philosophy. If when they have an explosion go off, they just before it hits, they just flash a white frame and then it goes off. Your brain just thinks that that's more impactful for some reason. It just does. Versus if it wasn't there, it's I don't know why. Again, it's just like a trick. And so yeah, like it helps like 2%, but again, like they didn't do anything with it. It's not very creatively done. You know, it's again bare minimum.
They look very lame. They look very lazy.
You can do some gorgeous things with the impact frames that are really cool. You know, like there's a moment in I'm pretty sure there's a moment in Across Spider-Verse where 2099 like pulls out his teeth and it turns into a silhouette and you see the teeth come out and it's really quick and the shot changes and it's like all and it looks really cool and you see the teeth like and then it flashes away and it's held a little bit longer but it's really impactful because you see his jaw like and the teeth come out. That's like a really cool version of it. But like,
I feel like
again,
there was a good one with when Kingpin crushes Peter B, or not Peter B, but regular Peter.
yes, that's actually a really good use of it because he's crushing him and it's supposed to look really violent and scary,
Yeah.
and they use these cool impact frames. It literally it does like it makes it feel way more
I remember
violent.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you get that still of him going.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, no. So yeah, it's there, but it's the worst version of it. You do.
Well, yeah, just
throw it in
like, yeah. There's that one of Mark like, oh, and it's literally just his white silhouette on a black background.
They just took frames from the actual thing. They didn't like draw
they
any.
just took a PNG of him and like filled it in and then put it
It's
on. A background.
They love their PNGs.
Oh yes, they do. Yes, they do.
They love their PNGs.
Now I have seen the shot of him like getting up off the ground after Conquest throws him across the building or whatever, and there's like 30 frames in that. It looks really good. It's really smoothly animated.
That's where the budget
the rest
went.
of the show is like that.
Yeah,
that's where all the budget went. That one shot.
Him getting off the ground.
Yeah,
which is like a shame. I noticed that when these shows they try to use the higher frame rate for action scenes and stuff like that, when oftentimes you can get away with a lower frame rate in action scenes, and when you really want high frame rate is when you're doing like an emotional scene or emotive or facial acting. You know, for example, in freshman year they dropped the frame rate for this like action scene, and it still looks great. A lot of anime actually, when it's animated, like a fast like battle scene and it's people zipping around, usually it's a lower frame rate that they're doing that, but it looks great because it's like pose to pose. It's really clear, well staged.
Well, that makes it feel faster too because it's jumping, so it's almost like it's teleporting, but your brain fills in the blank.
Yes, but when you but the issue is that like you actually want the more frames when a character is like their body language is changing or they're having they're changing from one emotion to the other. But usually they don't. They just do like two poses. Like they'll be like, "Oh, Mark's sad," and his head goes, you know what I mean? And it's like you're they're used in the wrong places again. And so whenever people show this and they go, "Look at this really high, like really well, clear animated action scene," I'm just like, "Yeah, well, you probably could have dedicated those resources to the acting or the emotions, and the action would have still looked good. Like it still would have looked good." But oh well.
Mm-hmm.
I got 2 points to make. No, really just one.
2 points.
Kind of off topic. I'm sorry. Thatch, in your review, did you mention about this guy not having a boot swivel?
He does have one.
Okay, just want to make sure. I thought you mistaken. I thought you said that you couldn't have.
No, I was giving the example of
rips off his leg.
I was giving the example that he does have a boot swivel, and that it's really nice that he has one because I was talking about how the ankle pivot on Legends, they like to do this thing where when you pivot it, the whole foot like starts to face forward, you know, and that the boot swivel allows you to turn 90.
Yeah, when you have it like. Yeah. All right, I was misremembering it because I'm like, wait, it's like because sometimes those parts of like the boot swivels are so tight you can't even move them. So
or they don't. I make a whole point about how sorry, I might have been talking so fast, but my point was that the boot swivel is there, and people underestimate the power of the boot swivel because you need it to use the ankle pivot properly. You know?
Yeah, because like on the Astonishing Wolverine, he lacks that, and it brings that guy down tremendously.
Yeah, it makes him hard to stand.
Yes.
Yeah.
I might be mistaken for that, but I just wanted to make sure because I'm like, wait a minute.
Pretty sure the movie Wolverine doesn't have the boot swivel, and it's a huge annoying thing on that.
It is. Yeah, I mean, I love the figure, but it's not. It makes it really difficult. That's why, like you said, with this and 97, it really helps out with that. But I thought
you have the hip swivel. You don't need the boot swivel. No, that's not how that works.
No, I'm sorry, man, but it's
you need. You really need both.
Yeah.
At least if the ankle peg is at an angle, you really need both.
Yes.
If it's straight, then you don't.
Yes.
If it's a 90 degree, then you're fine, pretty much. But if usually they're not. Usually they are fucking you swivel it and he looks like this, and you're like, what am I doing?
Yeah. It would be.
They do not ever. Yeah.
It would be nice I just want to make sure to move like the Spider-Man swivel to his ankle and not his calf, so his calf isn't a triangle that swivels.
Yes, so it's not like a big shootout.
You don't get his fucking leg like getting sawed off.
You want it as a low. Yeah, you're totally right. Yes.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm right here.
I
Yeah, I was gonna say
saw
Braden
it.
is seeing like war
Well,
right now.
there's a very
Braden just doesn't care.
no, there's
No,
a
I
very
just saw him zone the
there's a
fuck
very
out.
there's not a lot of structure to this opening. We're just jumping around a lot.
No, this isn't the opening. Aren't you doing the opening?
Well, what is all
this?
this?
Is all being recorded, so it'll be included.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, geez, sorry.
All right.
Well, it's a pretty
Sorry,
short week. Anyway,
Captain, sorry. I just want to make sure. That's all
Yeah.
I wanted. I was just.
My
No
bad.
rush, guys. I didn't want to
that.
interrupt you. I want you guys to continue
He
talking.
just
I
wants
was-
to
Yeah.
talk about his fucking It Takes Two to Make a Thing Go Right game.
No, you guys look. Aiden, I did watch your review, and like I keep saying, it felt very nostalgic to the good old days of the Tohokoto channel, where I used to just review everything. It took me back to those days, which is nice.
Yeah. I
It's
forget.
your knowledge and love and scary Frank Castle in Shadow's head sculpt reveal, where you're like, look at his head, and he's like, it's blacked out, and he's like,
it's like half lit.
yeah.
Dude, I
but
loved how you talked about
kinda
the comics. Oh my
yeah,
god.
yeah. No,
That's
actually
cool.
opening up the comics and looking at all of that was great. I was like, because at first I was like, Punisher doesn't look like that, and then you go to the issue where he does look like that. I'm like, okay, I get it. Okay.
It definitely made it so much easier for me to make a video like that rather than like I wanted to make a video years ago about MODOK, but I wanted to do it in like the Thanos style that I did, and I'm like that takes me quite a bit just to kind of make it very straightforward. So when I get to sit down for a half hour and just ramble on, now it's proven that I should just go back to that formula. I know most people don't have even. Unfortunately, I don't think most people have the attention span. Like this is boring, but I want to get out of my system. I want to talk about it. But I appreciate you guys watching it. It's
I can't wait to see patches now because it's just gonna be good to see you guys making videos, no matter what it is. So.
I definitely
It's making me
when
want
I
to figure out my review setup because I've got so many reviews that I want to do.
Man, I think the next one I'm gonna do is whenever I get Rom and Adam Warlock because I think those are perfect reviews for me to really talk about.
The Rom is gonna be great.
Why did you do that?
Happy birthday!
How excited you are for Rom and Adam Warlock.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, hand me my Rom and Adam Warlock now, okay? I mean, I'm not
Just
gonna
pop in your
argue.
hands. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
an early birthday gift for me. When are they supposed to come out?
I'm supposed to get them like next month, and they're supposed to come in June. So I'm
Yeah, Maximum Spidey's coming next month too. He got
a lot of things got pushed up, and I'm gonna be dirt fucking poor.
Oh
so.
wait. Oh, it's April. Oh, he did get pushed up.
Yeah, and in
Hell
April. And in April.
Oh yeah, because the Brits are getting him now.
Yes.
I love
Dan.
Dan who did an entire video where he's basically just like, I'm reviewing this figure and everyone is going to kill me. That's the whole video. He's just like preparing. He's like, guys, I'm reviewing it. I'm going to be objective.
I just forgot. I'm like, just review the goddamn thing, all right?
Yeah, it's a little odd to just be like. I mean, unless you were doing unboxing, which he also did an unboxing live stream. So I don't know, man.
I was watching actually. I was talking to Ty about that. I was watching.
Oh yeah.
Got big old web shooter hands, big old gorilla hands.
They are giant hands. They are. But you know what?
He's got giant hands. His unmasked head is ugly. I don't like that
It
thing.
is.
I'm not using it.
You like it. It's goofy. You wouldn't take it seriously though, unfortunately.
I don't even
It
know.
just doesn't look like Peter Parker, I don't think.
I don't even know. It's crazy because Peter Parker is the most. I'm gonna be honest with you. He's had so many different versions. He's looked like the most generic white guy of every decade he's existed in. So it's like a generic white guy in the 70s, a generic white guy in the 80s, a generic white. That's what he's looked like. And somehow they made a head that looks like none of them, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like a generic white guy. It looks like a really specific, creepy, like anorexic
He looks
guy.
It looks like a
The
human
only
version.
one they nailed was the animated series head. I think that's the best Peter Parker we've gotten
Yeah,
thus
maybe
far.
they just can't nail it. I don't like it. Should not be that.
I like the Renew Your Vows head. I'm a fan of that one.
It's
I don't remember
fine.
what that one looks like.
It's the big one, but it's downsized. I like that one a lot.
It's the big one.
It's
the one
big
Aiden-
one.
Well, it's Aiden got
I like
the big figure.
It's
Yeah,
not comic,
well-
but I like the What If head. That one's good.
What if
Yep.
it's not
That was
bad?
pretty decent. Yeah.
It's cartoon.
It's a little like doll-like, but yeah.
It's more
don't know.
animated than doll, I think.
I'm in the middle.
He's a
I'm in the middle
doll.
of that.
He's a doll.
Yeah.
You're a MILF?
They haven't nailed
No.
my Peter Parker yet. The closest thing to a Peter Parker they've done that I like is just the split face one. That's like the closest they've gotten.
Yes, that.
pretty good.
Yeah.
You feel like
Alright,
when they
Brian.
had him have. Oh, okay, yeah.
Shut up. Talk about your video game.
I get to talk. All right. There's It's Spider-Man. Let me get back into. Let me lock back in.
The fuck is he doing?
Okay.
Why is that you locking in, bro? Let me lock in. Okay, I'm ready.
Yeah, we lock in.
Oh,
Let me-
okay.
Hang on, guys. Let me lock in.
Let
All right.
me pop some paint real quick. All right.
Sniffing glue.
So I use fucking sniffing glue. Okay, so recently I just finished playing the game Split Fiction, or some of these goobers call it Split Friction, by Haze Light, who's the same developer who did.
Like.
Let's let him.
Can you zoom in on my face when that happens?
Yeah.
Just a big like. Okay. It's Hazelight Studios who did A Way Out and It Takes Two. It Takes Two was one of my favorite games of that year. It was a wonderful co-op game. That's what they specialize in, these co-op experiences. And A Way Out, when I saw the trailer, I was like, that's pretty cool. That looks kind of cool. It's not gonna be as good as It Takes Two, but it looks pretty good. And then the game came out.
Didn't A Way Out come first?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, okay.
I said A Way Out. It Takes Two. Yeah. So anyway, I never played A Way Out, by the way. But I hear it's okay. I hear it's like not as good as these other two. So anyways, where was I? I hate you. Now I lost my entire train of thought.
Split Friction. Fiction.
Right, Split Friction.
Fiction.
Anyways, so I was like, it's not gonna be that good. Then the reviews started coming out. Then everyone started playing it, and I was like, okay. I saw a couple clips from the game, and I was like, this looks kind of peak. My buddy messages me, hey, you want to play this? I'm like, sure, let me just wait till I get paid. Like, I got paid in like a week, so I was like, let me just wait. But he's like, no, I want to play it now. So he just buys the game, and the awesome thing about these games is only one person has to own the game. You can play it. You just have to download like a pass thing, and then you can just play with that person. It's great. It's the best thing that studio does. So cool. And this is EA, by the way, who publishes these games, which is just doesn't feel like an EA thing to do, but that's okay.
Despite their wishes, the studio gets away with these things.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard that. I heard that the game creator was like, EA doesn't step on our toes, and they're not allowed to fucking interject at all. Like, he was very clear that like
he
this is
basically
our.
tells their execs to piss off.
Yeah,
publicly.
which is good. Thank God. And they're like, hey, they let them do it. Their games are doing well, so like, yeah, they deserve to have that power. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so then I start playing with my buddy from work. And at first, I'm getting into the first couple levels, and I'm like, this game's pretty fun. I don't know if it's as good as It Takes Two, but it's pretty enjoyable. Then the game keeps going, and it just keeps going. And you're never bored for a single moment, and the second you start to dislike a mechanic, they switch just like that. And then the final level of the game happens, and I'm not going to spoil it, but it's one of the fucking coolest sequences I've ever played in a video game ever. They take everything you know about the game and split it down the half.
Split it down the fiction.
Yeah. So, I don't really want to give too much away about the game, but basically, you're playing as two writers who get invited to like this thing, and the villain is such a Spider-Man ass, like, my machine. I must power my machine. Like, he's. I will say, writing is not. This is not. You're not going in for like a deep, like rich, like well-written story. It's fine. That's not why you're playing the game. But anyways, this millionaire is like, I'm building a machine, and basically he puts you in a bubble, and you're like, well, all your creative ideas will be extracted into the machine. But this one girl's like, I don't want to do that, and she jumps into another girl's bubble on accident, and then their whole thing gets mixed up, and they have to find a way out of the matrix, basically. So you spend most of the game going from
I want to say real quick, the two main characters are writers, fiction writers, and this entire plot is an extremely obvious metaphor for AI. It's not even close. It's a very obvious metaphor for AI stealing artist's work and regurgitating. I just want to say that out loud. It's like not even subtle. It is very.
He's always talking about the machine. You know, he's like, my machine.
And the girls are like, he's stealing our ideas and making them content, and it's like,
yes, absolutely. You know what?
Which I'm not saying is a bad thing at all. I actually think that's a cool idea for a story, and I think it's
very on the nose. It's super.
But just so people know,
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. If you want to steal people's content,
no, I'm
for content. Do it.
He's the last person who can say that.
Oh God.
Yeah. I swear. I'm innocent. The characters are fun. You've got Mio, who's a little bit more of a tight ass, who doesn't really like to, she's more just like, whatever, I don't care.
She's
blah,
the
blah,
cool,
blah.
edgy, cyberpunk sci-fi person.
She's the sci-fi chick, and then there's Zoe, who's the upbeat, like happy fantasy girl.
Hearing that from Brayden is troublesome.
Yeah, I was gonna phrase it in a different way, but whatever. You guys get your minds out of the gutter.
I love it. The show must go on.
Anyways, so every level is a blast. Like, it's so much fun, and in between each level, you get like what's called side stories. So you get these little portals. You get to jump in, play some random ass, whether it be science fiction, whether it be fantasy, whether it be, I don't know, your two pigs who one farts and one turns into a long accordion. And at the end of the level, you get turned into hot dogs and kill yourselves.
I was gonna say that's probably how that should end.
Yep. It is wild. There's a whole level where you turn into balls and play Pong with yourselves.
Play with
not
yourselves?
Pong. Pinball. Where one person is controlling the level with like pinball like stuff everywhere, like the bumpers and stuff like that. And the other person's playing as the ball. It's so...
So the other person's just being shot around and not doing anything?
No, you have to jump. You have to actually platform and stuff. It is a puzzle platform game, and sometimes... I mean, maybe it's just because I'm stupid, but sometimes we'd sit there and we'd be like, I don't know how to solve this. And I'd sit there for like we'd like try everything, and then the moment you solve it, you're like, oh, it's a big brain moment. And the game has some great puzzles. There's like a dance-off with a Monkey King. Pretty peak. It's really, as a cute cat, it's really hard to summarize everything about this game, but it is just pure fun. It's so well made. It isn't trying to be more than it is, like it's not trying to like be like, this is the greatest game of all time. It's trying to be fun first and foremost. They never really slow it down too much to the point where you're bored or anything like that, which is great. It's this studio, they just make really good games, and I want to see. Apparently they're already working on their next game, which is like, okay, yeah, just keep going.
Can I share a thought real quick?
Share a thought.
I googled this game after you put it on the list because I want to know what the hell we were talking about.
I googled it.
And I played It Takes Two with my girlfriend, so I was familiar with this thing. I actually had to stop because like the writing was so bad. I'm sorry, I was like could not.
The writing in these games was not good. It's very cheesy.
In Takes Two as well, so it was very cheesy.
No, I'm agreeing with you. Yeah.
So I looked up this game, and to be like, the central idea is like fantasy and sci-fi. What if you combine them and like compared them and explored all these different things with them? And it looks really cool. I do have one kind of petty complaint. It's not a huge complaint, but I just think something that would have made the storytelling stronger and why the storytelling might be a little weird and the writing might be a little weird. I'm really frustrated and confused why the game is about two novelists and not two game developers. Because I think that there's a saying that goes in media literacy called the medium is the message, and the idea of it is that the art form itself can play a factor in how the story's told, right? And so, there's more to it than just that, but that's one of the factors of it, so Like, for example, Blair Witch Project only really works as a movie because it's a found footage thing and you're watching footage be played. Like, it works best that way, right? That makes the experience the most effective. So my thing is, like, it's weird when there's a video game about two novel writers and it's talking about, like, books and, like, storytelling in books when it could have very easily been about two game developers and they could have leaned into that even more. You know, they could have really played up the fact that like it's about the gaming medium. And I think that that's part of the reason why the writing's weird is because it's written by game developers and game story people and not novelists. And I think you can kind of feel like it's a very broad paint job of writers in the writing community. And I just think that, like, they could have done a lot with it being specifically about gaming, you know? Like, for example, I'm not going to spoil the ending, but they used the fact that it's a split-screen game in the storytelling itself. And it's really creative. It's really cool. That is peak medium as the message shit right there. Like, that story, they're going to turn into a movie, and it's not going to work as well. You know what I mean? Because the fact that it's split-screen makes it better. So my thought was, like, why isn't it about gaming, and then all the levels are built on fantasy games like Skyrim or, like, you know, parodying that stuff, or, like, you know, Cyberpunk, and I don't know. I just feel like that would have been stronger. But that's my only, like, thought.
You literally said the follow-up point that I was going to make, where that the ending sequence would work so much better from a game perspective because you're like, that's a video game thing.
Yes.
And there's so many video game references in it anyways.
Already?
There's like Donkey Kong reference, Crash Bandicoot. There's so many references.
Why aren't they game developers?
It's interesting. I get it. I get what they were going for. But if you put all that aside, like I said, the story is probably the weakest part. It's just there to get you into the game. It's there to get you into the concept. Once you're in it, once you're playing it, it is a blast. And again, you're playing it with somebody, so that's the whole entire appeal of it.
The story is a justification for the game mechanics, is what it is.
Absolutely. You're not, like I said, if you're playing this game for the story, no.
I will say, I've played It Takes Two. The developers do think they're telling a profound story with these games. They kind of think they're telling a very cool, deep story. I'm not going to lie to you. That's part of the problem.
Which is weird, because It Takes Two, my favorite part about it was the fact, I like the sillier aspects of it. I don't really like the serious, like, what they're trying to go for.
But there are many long cutscenes of, a little girl crying and shit. And it's like...
It's cheesy.
If the story is bad because it's a justification for the gameplay, then don't put so much story stuff in it. Like, make it simpler, you know?
I think they just, all games
I think they think it's fairly emotional and profound. I think that's the oppression they're under, but it's just not working. You know?
That's not the appeal. And I'm glad that people are looking past that and just saying, like, hey, this is I think this game will win something. I don't know what it's going to win, if it does, but it's sad that it's coming out the same year maybe GTA comes out. So people are going to forget about it a lot, unfortunately.
It's an ingeniously designed game, like, legitimately. And it's gorgeous. One of the best looking, like, the actual, not the graphic fidelity, but the art direction in the game is exceptional.
There's some moments where we just had to stop and, like, look at the background because it's so, like, beautiful. Like, they have these beautiful sunsets, and even, like, the big sci-fi cities look way cooler than anything I've seen out of Cyberpunk, personally speaking. It's got more of an art style.
To be fair, Bray, Astrobot won Game of the Year last year, so you never know.
That's true, but there was no GTA last year.
I don't think GTA is winning Game of the Year.
I don't know, man.
Well, what if it's bad? I don't know. People don't.
I hope it's bad. Just kidding. I hope it fucking sucks.
They also, just for you two, it's not like they take one fantasy aesthetic, one sci-fi aesthetic, and commit to that all the way through. They recycle, cycle through several different interpretations of sci-fi, which is really cool, and in fantasy.
I'll be quick I'll try to summarize this as quickly as possible. One of my favorite levels of each is there's a fantasy level where you basically are raising baby dragons from birth. And this entire time there's, like, this stone dragon, like, trying to kill you. And at the end of the level, you go full-on Shadow Colossus, ride up on your dragon, climb the stone dragon, stab it in the head. And your dragons are, like, helping. It's so fucking metal. It's so cool. It's so sick.
Every level has something like that in it.
Yeah, there's always a moment where your jaw just drops and you're just like, this is so fucking cool. There was a sci-fi level where you start off and you start paragliding through this insane, like it looked like Halo, like the environment looked so cool, and I was like, God damn, this is sick as hell. And then you go from paragliding to jumping down, then you're on water ski, just like pulling each other. It is so cool. There are so many moments where you are just like blown away by, again, gameplay, and the design is just, it's so good. So there's not much else I can really say. Go play it if you haven't. Find someone to play it with. It's
gonna be a movie.
It's gonna be a movie, which is kind of dumb. I don't really. And also, isn't It Takes Two a movie, or was a movie with The Rock at some point? Didn't they say that wasn't that a thing?
I don't know.
At one point, it was a thing. I don't know if it's happening anymore. Apparently, like studios are fighting for the rights for the
Bidding war.
movie. Yeah.
Bidding war.
Which I will say,
Mhm.
I've seen other movies and articles written the exact same way about projects that I know more intimately about, where they said a bidding war took place, but the article was actually a front to get a bidding war to take place.
Wow. Interesting.
So that's a strategy that does happen. Like, it's the idea of like, oh shoot, this IP's got a bidding war going on. We better throw our hat in. That literally has happened. I can name a movie it's happened to. I will not, because it's kind of I shouldn't. But
Okay.
so just I'm a little. Whenever I hear a bidding wars take place, I'm like, okay, is there, or is this like a marketing move? You know, like we'll see. You know,
Is it, or are you just trying to, induce some FOMO in people?
yes, yeah,
That makes sense. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
I'm not saying that is what's happening, but that does happen. I know for a fact.
I don't want this as a movie. I'm good. This does not need to be. It kind of ruins the entire final sequence of that game. But okay.
It does.
Well, I
It's
mean,
not
even if it was a movie, it'd probably be like just the concept.
Yeah.
Versus
There weren't even
characters.
They're just video game movies are weird lately because they're doing that shitty Until Dawn movie that's just like I don't even get it anymore.
It's not
I don't
even. That's
understand.
just a fucking. That is literally just a knockoff Cabin in the Woods script that somebody slapped the Until Dawn name on.
Yeah, and they're like, well, we could use this to get some more butts in the seat.
Yeah. On the topic of it being a metaphor for AI, that did remind me. Did you guys see the PlayStation Sony AI Aloy thing?
Yes,
I did see that. Yeah.
So for Aiden,
It's creepy.
there was a leaked test video that came out of Aloy, the character from the Horizon games, her face and voice being performed by AI as like an interactable character without the knowledge or without any consultation with the actress. Supposedly her likeness and performance weren't used to make that, which I doubt. But yeah, so that came out, and then Sony just started getting a lot of heat for that because right now there's the SAG video game strike going on. It's been going on for a while, and yeah, nobody likes that. Nobody wants that to be happening.
Yeah.
I'm glad that leaked. Whoever leaked that is a hero.
Yep.
Yeah, even if they lost their job, you took one for the team, man.
It looks
We needed
fucking
that.
stupid. It looks like fucking. It looks like a porn ad or some shit. She's like,
we looked that
she's
up.
like, hi, how's it going there? Like, it's like it looks fucking dumb.
Yeah, Ashley Birch the actress for Aloy did come out and had a lot to say about it, and yeah, she didn't like it. She felt very uncomfortable about it, but
Good. A normal human being,
she did say that the studio behind the games contacted her and said that they didn't use anything from her, but could be lying. I wouldn't really trust them.
That's one of those things where it's like I don't know. It's weird that they're. I don't know, man. I haven't played Horizon, but they're really trying to make that like Star Wars. Like they're really pushing it. It's like
the first game's really good, if a bit boring at times, because it's a it's that same like open world formula where you go and do the checkpoints and you do the towers and you do the. I haven't played the second one, and there's like a VR game or something, but I mean, I love the character of Aloy. I have a figure of her. There's a weird fucking Lego game.
Yeah. Don't forget about that game. There's 4 Horizon games. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, they're really pushing that thing. It's so weird
And
to
Lego
me that
sets.
Yep.
Yes.
And Lego. You can go to the store right now and buy a Horizon Lego set. Isn't that 2? There's 2.
There's
yeah,
three.
it's
There's 3? Are there
There's
2
the
of the?
original. It was like a collector's set or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I know
then
that
they
one.
made 2 more.
I didn't know they made 2. I thought they only made 1. Okay.
I think they did 2.
Weird.
they did
I
too.
might be wrong.
Weird.
I think it's 2.
I'm pretty sure they did too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
That's so bizarre.
Yes.
So bizarre.
Very bizarre,
I
very
want-
creepy,
I wanna
and
see them
very
do-
concerning.
I don't.
Yeah,
I
live
don't
in a
want to
cool
see
hell.
Them, I don't want to see them do Kratos, but just a little bit.
AI Kratos. Whoa. It is
Just
me,
a little
Kratos.
bit.
How's it going, boy?
Put Knack in
Kratos,
there. all right?
Kratos, call me boy, please.
Okay, I will call you.
Boy.
I was thinking about it, and the only circumstance that I would be okay with that, like, interactable video game character thing, is if there was a new Mega Man Battle Network game, because that's literally the concept of the game. Is you have your Mega Man is an AI companion in those games.
Right. I just imagine
it's-
people spewing random shit.
Doesn't Mario? Don't they have that for? Don't they have that for Mario? At like the
What do you-
Nintendo
what do
store
you-
or something? Like an AI? Not, I don't think it's AI, but I think they have like a stand where you can talk to Mario and ask him questions.
Yeah, but I
it's
think
very
that's more
popular
like the
thing, but-
Rocket thing that we saw
Right.
at D23
Yeah.
or whatever, where it's just a
Or,
guy voicing him.
Turtle
Yeah.
Talk with Crush at Disney. It's like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, or like the
They're not-
donkey thing, or yeah,
It's not AI. It's real.
it's just an actor.
It's
Oh,
real.
man.
Just
I've heard
underpaid
some other theme parks have tried to do that with some other characters from some other franchises, and I cannot say I don't think it's happening, but God, it was. I'm not gonna say which one, but I'm gonna make an example. It'd be like if they did one of like you can talk to Michael Myers or something. Like it was the most random, absurd thing I've heard about, and it's just
You just put a suit on a mannequin. He doesn't talk, so it's like, hey,
Yeah.
Michael.
What's even the point? Just get a guy in a Scott. Just get a guy to be in a suit. Also, who'd want to talk to Michael? He doesn't fucking talk anyways.
Yeah.
I don't know.
My,
Who am I
my
talking to the other
favorite of
person?
those. My favorite of those.
He
is
says
Megatron from Universal Studios because he's a.
Oh, he's
dick.
an asshole. Yeah, he's a dickhead. He's also just a big suit that just goes there. Fuck you! I fuck you.
All right, what's our next topic?
Yeah, let's get
We
started.
haven't-
Welcome to All Things Geek, a podcast. My name is Tyler. Also known as Monica Sun. I'm joined by the man whose name starts with a B.
Braden Ortman Zolian.
The man whose name starts with an A.
Aiden or Kierman.
The man whose name starts with a T.
Wait, let's.
Thatch or Thatch?
All right, that was a long ass intro. We don't have a lot to get through, but
Probably why.
it's probably not going to be a shorter week because
Nope.
we haven't. But we got any
We got the-
things to show and tell, lads? I've got 2 things.
0.
I
One.
only got. Alright, I just got this book today. That's really it.
A Marvel way.
The
Yes.
Marvel way.
By John Buscema from 1978.
I
and
didn't
Nice.
even see the first part of it. I just read the Marvel way.
it's a cool book.
Whose
to
butt was
show
that? I saw butt, dude.
Wait, go back to the ball. Okay, is that Nosferatu? Why is he in there?
Yeah. I don't know where the butt is. Hold on. No, I
Find
don't
an
know where
ass for us, please. That's
It was
all
like a
we
person
want.
standing and you saw their back and their butt was very
Just
like,
find an ass.
It's
Just find an
very
ass.
pronounced and
okay,
detailed
well, this
detail.
that is
That's what I was talking.
Yeah.
Oh
That's
jeez.
the ass. That's the ass.
jeez. Oh god.
Take
Goodbye
butt,
yourself.
yo.
There it is.
All we needed.
That's why I
And
showed
I'm
up.
That's pretty cool.
Look, Brayden, you can learn how to draw Sue.
Susan?
He can get sued, more like.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah.
That's
Brayden's like, I need
crazy.
to know the anatomy.
That is not.
Yeah.
That is not her anatomy in the game.
Definitely not.
Well, but I'm excited. I just got this in the mail. It's gonna.
Hell yeah.
I love that
I'll be
picture
like
of Spider-Man
Spidey
on the back.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
He's a little
It's super
artist.
Cute.
There's
Yeah.
probably
That's
some
great.
personality.
He's a little savant.
Dude.
Yeah,
Oh,
I love when they do that kind of stuff. That's old
Uh,
school Marvel right there. They will not do that nowadays.
No,
Oh,
that
you
would be
brought-
a Spider-Verse variant.
Yeah, and also having the whole book written by Stan Lee and having his spin on like he's very colorful with how he describes things, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Well, I'll get all the credit for this. I'll take 50% of it.
You're a
You don't know the
Uh,
difference."
You're a
So
fucking
that's very
Jack
yeah.
Kirby, who? I don't think
Yeah,
so.
he
I'm
is literally like
Danny
that the
boy.
whole time. I'm like 20 pages in. I'm like, oh my god.
When I designed Spider-Man's entire costume with no one
Yeah,
else
he
except
is-
myself.
When I
He is-
drew for the first time the Silver Surfer, I thought this is genius.
Yeah,
This is avant-garde.
he is like such an old school salesman. It's not even funny. It's like
Yeah.
so. It's such it's embedded in that. So it's so much fun.
Ty, you can go first.
Well, how much do you have?
I got one, but you can go first.
I have 2, so you go first, bitch.
You go
You can go first.
No, you have less.
Right,
That's how it works.
Pretty sure do a
Fine.
probably
I
not.
just-
He's trying to
I wanna think-
stall. He's trying to
Why-
hide his goon.
Well, no, I just wanted to think of more to say. Okay, so this week I got an email, and I said I got a package coming. It was a third-party shipper. They don't tell you what the package is, so it's just like your package is showing up. I'm like, it's very odd, because the only things I had, okay, the only things I had ordered recently was fodder for Sue or for Malice, right? So I was like, but I ordered that from eBay. That shit takes time. It doesn't ship next week. So I'm like, that's very strange. So I get the email that they got the package. I check upstairs. I got the package. I'm like, what is this? Is this Black Knight? Is this Megan or whatever? Like, who the hell is this? Megan? So I'm shaking the package, and I'm opening it. I was like, okay, I guess it's Black Knight or something. So I start opening it up, and I see an SH Figure Arts logo. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, did the One Piece stuff ship? I'm like, no. I forgot, because this always happens to me. I always fucking forget that I had to cancel shit. I ordered this motherfucker last year. So this is the second SH Figure Arts Green Man in a week that I've gotten. So
For
I'm on a
animes
roll, I
that you
guess.
haven't watched.
I've seen the first season of this show. I'll give you that.
Okay, yeah.
I know more about My Hero than I do Demon Slayer. I guess I pre-ordered him sometime last year, and then I thought he was shipping in May, but I guess it's March. He's pretty damn good. I mean, he's very similar to Naruto with a lot of his articulation and stuff. He feels really good to pose around. I mean, that's a lot of ab crunch. Well, actually, it's not so much. It's actually more in the bottom of the torso. I realize now. No, but he's a fun figure. Like I just opened him up today, and I'm like just having an absolute blast with him. I don't think I'm gonna get any of the other My Hero figures unless I suddenly become the biggest My Hero fan of all time.
One of them has big enough boobs.
No, they're children. I will never.
Sure.
I would never even. No, but he's great. He's a really solid figure. He's got some weird. I thought these were like Wolverine claws, but it turns out they're like that's like his epic like whip effect. I'm like, okay, that's weird. No, he's a lot of fun. It was such a weird like mental gymnastics of like, what did I get this week? You know, like
Show
what
it
did
right
I? Anime. It's Aiden.
That is not me.
It's Aiden, dude. Wait, the
That is
resemblance
not-
is
Yeah.
uncanny.
I wish
Yeah,
I could.
Aiden's green
I
hair.
really-
Aiden's
yeah.
classic green hair and his cool
I'm gonna
epic.
need better. I'm gonna need better glasses.
It's okay. My camera sucks anyways.
Was that my weirdo academia? Whatever.
My weird, yeah,
My weirdo academia.
my Weird Al Academia.
My Weird Al,
Aiden's
yeah,
definitely
good-
seen that character at least because Robo has
absolutely.
reviewed so many.
Oh yeah. I
He's
just don't know
the
the kid's name.
Deku.
Deku.
What'd you get?
Actually, I think.
Deku.
Yeah, well-
I
Oh,
got
the Deku tree.
a
great Deku.
Jazzwares total anime figure. I bought it for the TV. It was $10. It's
Yeah,
this
the noob.
awful Anya that has like a baby monkey ass face. Like she does not look good.
Wait. You have a regular Anya for comparison here, Ty?
I have a comparison photo. I don't have. You're not gonna be able to see it on camera.
Send it. Show them what you mean.
Yeah, her face looks like a little baby chimpanzee.
Developing for the first
That's
time.
what he used to say about me.
They call me a little baby chip. I've been saying that for the last couple of years.
That's,
I don't know.
that's my rapper name, Baby Chimp.
Baby chimp. Little baby
there it
chimp.
is. There it is.
Little baby chimp.
Baby chimp.
Little baby chimp.
I'll send it to Podpix. That's the smarter thing to do.
Do it.
There you go. Yeah, she's got a weirdly shaped face. It doesn't really. I don't know if it really translates, but it's like. It's
That's
very,
a cat. What the hell? It's not a. That's a cat.
That's a
What?
cat.
Oh, it's in the. Okay, I went in the main chat. I saw your cat, and I was like,
That's
"What
a cat.
weird little
That's
face."
a
And I'm like,
cat.
Why are you bullying your cat, dude?
yeah, she looks like a freak, and
Hair's weird too.
the torso is like a really weird rubbery, like, ew. It feels gross.
Ew.
But yeah, fuck that. I also
Got
got
it for the TV.
on eBay. Yeah, I did get it for the TV because it was cool. I like it.
He's crazy. He's Peanut
Got on
Pete.
eBay the Marvel Legends Gamerverse Miles Morales for a custom, but I ordered 2 so I can have a Miles for the shelf. So I'm waiting for the other one to come
That's
in.
good. That's a good one. That's a good one for the shelf. It's a pretty decent.
Yes. I'm waiting for
Is
the other
that
one to come
from
in to
his-
see which one has better paint overall. For the
Is
shelf.
that the solo game version?
Yes, I prefer with the
Yeah,
the
me
Black
too.
Arms.
That's
I-
much more.
The sequel game design looks like ass.
Yeah, well, they just made changes to it. I think were unnecessary, but I guess they were just trying to, like all the red on his sleeves. I'm not really a fan.
Yeah. I don't care
Not
for the
terrible.
Miles game, but they nailed the suit in that game.
Yeah, they did. They did. That honestly worked for a comic version for me. So
Yeah. I've been playing the second.
Even the
game.
head.
This is
The head it
suit
came
I've been
with.
using for Miles. Yes, the head's
Yeah.
great. I love it.
yeah.
Super nice. Super nice. He's
And then
great.
the unmasked head. The unmasked head's like the comic head. It's like
Ty, how much
Yeah.
do you get that thing for?
Like $18.
Oh, that's nothing for that figure.
Yeah,
I'm
I think it's a
surprised.
super underrated figure. It's my favorite Miles figure they've ever made, in my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
great Miles.
I bought 2. This one didn't come with the hands, but I had all the hands anyway from my original Miles that I destroyed. Because I tried to turn it into a custom and it did not work years ago. And then the other one I got the full. It was like $22 and it came with the full set of hands and heads and everything.
I
pretty good
actually use his electricity hands. They're not on him now, but I gave him 2 electro, so I don't have
yeah.
the ones that are shooting out.
Yeah.
They fit well.
I had
Actually,
mine on my
Choice.
Electro too.
I might do that when I get my MCU Electro. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try and see how it looks.
There you go.
All right.
Can't wait
All
for that to
right. Well, let's address the Pokeball in the room.
Hey, woo, hey.
Ball.
Lego announced that they're doing Lego Pokemon.
Do you want to start, Bray, or do you want me to start?
Well,
No
so
thoughts on
well,
this.
yeah, I was like, we're not talking about it. I was like, yeah, well,
2 flying bucks about this.
I knew Thatch would have something to say about it.
The most I would have to say is, like, I think it's interesting because Mega Bloks used to have the Pokemon license, and that's it.
So, as far as I know, Thatch, did we know this was happening at all?
Nope, this came out of
This
freaking
came-
nowhere.
Left field. Okay, because I was shocked when
I follow Mega Bloks Pokemon accounts because I actually used to buy them. I have a
Yeah.
minor collection, and those people were like, they were like,
Yeah.
what?
they're like, what's going on? Are we losing the license? What's going on? It's very odd. Yeah, because I know last year you just bought a ton of them, and I was like, this is so
I kind of
weird.
feel I'm kind of glad I did now because now I can compare them. You
Yeah,
know?
now
I
you've
got a
got
whole
a
bunch of
cool-
different versions, and there's no way they're making a giant buildable Ash
Yeah,
in Lego.
no.
So I'm still glad I
Forgot
got
about the giant buildable Ash. So
Yeah.
this is weird because, so first of all, we don't know what they're going for yet. It's a brick-built Pikachu tail. We know that.
But, okay, but
mhm.
it's like the most. It's a
Yeah,
brick built
means,
Pikachu
that
tail.
means
But
nothing.
it
I know,
means
but
nothing.
hear me out. Hear me out. I have reason to believe that might be something because they, for the One Piece tease, they did use official pieces from those sets. They didn't,
Yes.
they didn't do something.
They did.
Yeah.
But One Piece sets are coming out this year, man.
Yeah.
The Pokemon sets are coming out next year, like
Oh, are
in
they?
the middle of the year or something.
Okay,
Yeah.
I thought
There's
they
no
were
way
coming
they're
out.
coming out soon
No.
this year because there's
What
been no leaks or anything.
Pokemon's coming out sometime in 2026. It is way down the line. Like that
I
is.
thought it might have been summer or
I
something.
can't tell you the last time I remember announcement for, especially with an IP,
Yeah.
of this like announcement going far back without having like a
Leak.
several month release date of sets or even
Well,
us
that, yeah.
knowing.
The
rumors about
closest thing I can figure is when they announced that they were doing normal minifigure Lego Minecraft sets. They did that pretty early in advance
Yeah.
before they had
Yeah.
like they just had weird test.
Yeah, because they only
figures.
had it was originally from
Blocks.
Crusoe and then the Micro Worlds.
Yeah,
the
And
blocks.
then then everyone was like, finally, we're gonna get that, and that's over 10 years ago now. Or actually, yeah,
Crazy.
10 years ago.
Lego Minecraft is old as shit.
It is.
So
It's
old.
insane.
God damn it.
Oh yeah, this was I was shocked. I was like, what the fuck? So now because now they got Mario under their belt, they have Zelda, they have fucking it's crazy.
Look,
Yeah,
I don't have a huge attachment to Pokemon anymore. Not since I
Yeah.
was like in 5th grade. But I'll
Right.
tell you, I was not in this, and I'm excited to see what they're gonna do with it. So.
Oh, and Animal Crossing too. Sorry, they've got Animal Crossing
Yeah,
as well.
dude, they got a whole.
That's my
and they
point.
did Zelda. They did Zelda several months ago.
Yeah.
That's my point. I think. So in my perspective, Bray, do you have anything else you wanted to say? Or I
No,
got
that's
it right?
basically it. That's basically it.
So I think I predicted not that Pokemon was going to happen, but that Lego was going to do more video game stuff. Like that is the way of the merchandising future. The comic book movie train has sailed, and we are entering the video game thing now. So I think Lego's gonna. They've been taking on. At this point they might have more licensed video game IPs than other licensed IPs. Like to be honest with you, like they have got a ton now, and you're right. They started with Mario, and then they did Animal Crossing and Zelda, and now they've got Pokemon. They've got 4 of Nintendo's IPs.
That's not even to mention Sonic and like Horizon and like
Sonic, Horizon, Minecraft.
all these other things. And
So
yeah,
there's
wild.
more. I just can't think of them right now. But
yeah.
So that's like the way of the future, and I just think honestly I would not be surprised if we get even more Nintendo stuff from Lego. I mean, this is clearly a trend now.
I imagine we're definitely getting more Zelda sets at some point, like they did
Yep.
with Sonic, where
Oh
they
my
did
God.
one collector set and then actual mainline.
I think that's happening.
I got a fucking Marvel Rival CMF series just blew in my mind. I went, oh my God.
No,
There's no
so
way.
They're not gonna do that, but I would fucking love it.
Well, what I will say is, as you mentioned CMF, I do think there is a chance they do a Nintendo CMF. I think that there's a decent chance.
Dude, Smash Bros. CMF, could you imagine?
It would be called Nintendo. I don't think it'd be called Smash. I think it would just be called Lego Nintendo. I don't know. It'd be cool if it was called Smash. I would freak out, dude. Oh my God.
I want to.
I mean, they've got Sonic. Just get the other licenses from Smash, and there you go.
So at least for Nintendo, I mean, like if they did that, that would be a very compelling thing because it would appeal to 4 separate audiences of Lego themes. Like you would appeal to Lego Mario people, to the Pokemon people now. You would appeal to
Zelda
the Animal
people.
Crossing, Zelda. You could do characters that aren't going to happen. For example, you could do a human villager, which they have not done in Zelda or in the I'm a collect. I like the Animal Crossing because I've got a good few of them. Or you could do Mario minifigures. Finally, we always talk about it, but like
Also,
you
Pokemon
could do that.
could be in that now, which is also a
Just
big
catch 'em.
Nintendo property.
Watch them not do Ash Ketchum as a minifigure, whatever they're doing. Watch them not do him. And now,
Well,
but you could do him in a minifigure series.
I could see that because the Pokemon brand seems to be moving away from that character.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. If you're doing a CMF, you could include the Ash figure there. Like you could fill in gaps for these other themes that you wouldn't, and it would appeal to a ton of people. And I just think there's a chance. I wouldn't be like it's almost like when Lego started doing more Disney stuff, and then they just decided to just do a Disney minifigure series.
Yeah.
So I think
We still
I
have
would
the
not be
Spider-Verse minifigure series coming.
Yep.
Just
So
seems
there's
kinda-
that. What the sets, in terms of what the sets will look like, it's really hard to say exactly. Mega Bloks had multiple scales. They never did humans except for the Ash, but they did multiple scales of Pokemon. Yeah. So they had like little tiny ones, they had like middle ones, they had big ones. I don't think Lego will be doing that widely. They might do a couple different scales for like one big set or one big Pikachu, and then do like a normal minifigure thing. It's really hard to say exactly what they'll do. The closest you could, if you're looking at it, like the closest I can think of is maybe like Animal Crossing because the audience is similar, I guess, But I don't know. I think it'll be its own format, so we'll see. I'm hoping they're minifigure scale Pokemon,
Yeah.
but also that's hard to do. So maybe it will be some brick built Pokemon. Maybe it'll be a combination. I'm not entirely sure what it'll look like.
I would think probably a combination, but also, I mean, there's no way they're not going to do a big like brick built statue Pikachu because they're doing that with Mario now.
Definitely do that, yes.
I almost worry that they're going to turn this into a very gimmicky like game thing.
I wouldn't be
what
surprised considering their Mario approach.
Yeah,
they could, but then again,
Animal Crossing didn't.
If they do, I would expect something more like the Sonic gimmick, where he has like the capsule that you shoot him out in, but it's like they do like a Pokeball piece.
Pokeball that cracks open. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, that pops open when you throw it or something.
Okay, that's an idea.
I will say,
it shatters when I throw it.
It wouldn't work for
it explodes on impact.
It definitely wouldn't work. The bigger the Pokemon got, that would be the biggest problem.
Well, for sure.
I will say, there is a 100% chance that this theme sells extremely well.
I mean, Pokemon is the like single most marketable like brand.
Merchandising for Pokemon is
brand.
Again, if Mario can keep going this long with how mid that theme is,
Pokemon, we're probably going to be stuck with for a decade.
Sucks, man. I hope we do get a Nintendo minifigure series so we can get Mario minifigures.
Kill that! I'm so done with that theme at this point.
And then I will say, for other Nintendo themes that they could do, Aiden said it. The one I would jump to the soonest would be Kirby, because it is family friendly and pretty widely beloved. Now the other ones, they're starting to get into like Metroid kind of territory, where I could see like one big Metroid set maybe, but I could not see like a whole theme of Metroid. And then they're not going to do Star Fox because they hate Star Fox right now, so they're not doing that, in my opinion.
Although Star Fox would make a lot of sense for minifigures.
It would be great. No, it probably lends itself the best to Lego.
I would love Star Fox.
But they're not going to do it because there hasn't been a Star Fox game in a decade, and they don't talk. It's like, so I think Kirby's the most likely next, but we'll see. And Zelda, of course, I think will be getting a full stand. At least one other big set, but probably a full series, honestly. So just great.
Maybe
so broke.
Or like a wave of sets or something like that.
Yeah. Maybe like a Horizon where it's like 2 sets or something.
Yeah, which would be fine. You do like you put the Ocarina of Time minifigure parts to use, and then the Breath of the Wild minifigure parts to use, or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right.
I hope.
It is interesting. We are in interesting times.
You had more to say than I thought you would, mister.
It wasn't about the Pokemon, though. It was more about the context.
In general, yes.
But this week we got a G.I. Joe fan stream, which was delayed from last month. They didn't show off a lot, but because they revealed so much recently. But they did show off a few things. We got some retro card back stuff, including the bat, and I don't know if this soldier has a name. I didn't catch that part of the stream, but I think it's just a generic soldier because you can swap him out from a black guy to a white guy.
Yeah. Ew, he's got a neck. Ew.
He does. Yeah, I think the head is attached to the neck or something.
Yeah.
He's gonna have that. He's gonna have that articulation, like that weird, like the whole head.
I don't imagine that socket is that deep, but yeah.
And then we're getting Snake Eyes, a very cool looking Snake Eyes with the blue and the black and the red visor, and then this crazy ass missile installation with some blonde man. Looks
That's
like
Aiden.
Brock.
Eddie Brock gave up and he went to war and he's fucking pissed now.
Dude, Spider-Man. I wish the G.I. Joe team made an Agent Venom figure. That would be freaking awesome.
Oh, yeah.
God,
I want the G.I. Joe team to make everything at this point. I'm like they're the best. Well, again, you give them too much to do, and then their quality's going to go down.
Just clone them. Let's just clone the G.I. Joe team.
Clone the cool bearded guy. Yeah, clone him over and over and
Yeah.
over again.
Yeah, this just cool. Just great Legends reveals.
Yep,
I
love
my
those
dad's
Legends
particularly excited. Joe reveals, sorry. My dad's particularly excited about the bat, the retro carded bat, because it's the classic colors, and he comes with like the flamethrower pieces and the laser blaster. Very nice. And just their vehicle stuff is so rad, man. Even this missile pod thing, like it's the most tame of their vehicles, and it's a fucking missile pod.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
Huge. It's crazy.
But
Nuts.
yeah, I love that. G.I. Joe never ceases to make me happy.
Oh, is that it? Is that all you got out for this?
Yeah, that's. I mean, they put up pre-orders for other figures, finally, but we've already seen those. So
I will say that mech.
that did go up for pre-order. It's a
$75. $75 for that.
It's huge, man, and it opens. So you can put a figure inside. It comes with stuff.
Fucking tempting, I'll tell you that much. But do I need it? No. But do I want it?
It's good. It's a
Yes.
good deal. It's a good deal.
Very
The thing
good
is
deal.
Fucking massive, dude.
You won't find that anywhere else. You won't find that anywhere else.
It's what a crazy.
It's pretty crazy.
All right. Before we get into the Marvel side of things for the end of the episode, State Farm put out a crazy, elaborate, well-produced Batman commercial. It's Batman versus Bateman, which is very strange. Who's the actor that plays Bateman? I know his face.
Bateman.
Jason Bateman.
Oh,
Jason
is
Bateman.
it Jason Bateman? Okay.
Yeah,
Bateman.
That's funny.
It's not why they didn't call him Bateman because that's the joke.
That's the entire joke, Ty. I don't know if it went over your head.
It did.
They probably would have called him Stateman, if anything, or Stateman.
No,
That
because
would've
that
funny.
would mean that he's the one that they're supporting. That doesn't make any sense.
What if he has a statement?
Pretty wild.
Yeah, I love the character designs. I love the aesthetic. The Riddler costume is so perfect with like the bowler cap, and he's got the like spray painted question marks on his suit. The Joker design looks. The Two-Face, he's got like all the prosthetics. I love it. I love it a lot. It's really good.
It's pretty dope, man.
I don't know why. I don't know who gave why they did this. It's so
Who gave them
specific.
permission to go so hard?
Yeah, right.
Honestly, this
Gunn,
commercial reminded me,
probably.
and I don't know if anyone's ever seen it, but have you ever seen the 2000 OnStar Batman commercials where they had like a mix? It was like an amalgamation of like Burton and Schumacher's Batman all rolled into one. It was. I love those commercials growing up because it was just like
Which ones?
OnStar. If you ever look up, it's the guy that played Batman in there. He's fucking awesome. I forgot his
OnStar?
name. It's Bruce Thomas, I believe his name is. Yeah, OnStar. It was like a.
Oh, sorry. I think you said Pawn Star. I was like the bald
not
guy.
OnStar. No, OnStar. OnStar. It's directly.
Oh, best I can do is $2. I can't
When I
help you
saw
with that.
this commercial, I thought of those commercials they had back in.
Can you please
25
edit
years ago.
Batman talking to the Pawn Stars guy? And he's like, best I could do is $5.
Pawn
on the Batmobile.
Pawn Stars guy goes, the price rises.
He's just like,
Oh, fuck.
That's a good guitar, man.
So what do you think it's worth?
Good auction million.
I'll give you $500 for it. Why did you say that? My thing is, I take all the risk, you walk away with cash. If you want the money now, I can go $550.
Do you bleed?
6?
I will fucking kill you.
I'll see what
The
I
Joker
can do.
they have in that, like, look at the Joker they had in that commercial. I fucking
the
love this
fuck?
guy.
What the
Yeah.
fuck is that? That's like
Yeah,
the
that's
mask.
Joker.
That's Jim Carrey's The
Yeah.
Mask Joker.
It is.
Yep. It's Jelker.
Yeah.
If I ever saw one.
Well, you know what I really like about this Batman commercial is that it makes it all the more relevant and prevalent that you can make a Batman adaptation that is darker, but still has accurate, fun costumes for the characters. You don't need to make them all boring and generic and like super realistic. And people will love it. People will accept it. You know,
this would be a great template for the DCU Batman sort of aesthetic. To, like,
this is fucking State Farm. If State Farm can do it,
a couple weeks ago with
DC Studios can do this shit.
Yeah,
and people love it.
They got to back the fantastical elements. I don't know how else to put it. Because
I need a big fucking. I need a man. I need a big old man bat. I need a big old clay face. I need a big fucking Killer Croc. I want all of it. You know.
Yeah, we need to see that stuff, man. The last time I remember seeing that in real Batman media was really, I think, just the Arkham games. That's like the closest thing I can recall for as close as we got.
Arkham games aesthetic make me want to throw up.
yeah.
I mean, most of them do, but it's still, you know.
It's like looking at acid. I hate it.
What?
Those games are fucking. I mean, the first one, Asylum. I love. It's fun. They're fun. They're so much fun.
They're great games.
Not Titan Joker.
I don't look like the aesthetic is that everybody rolled through dog shit.
No, so the thing that's the problem is they made one game set in an asylum where everyone did roll through dog shit.
Yes.
It made sense for that game, and then they were like, I guess the whole world looks like that. And it's like,
probably
shouldn't.
Yeah, that's very, no.
But this looks fantastic.
Also, everyone's a bodybuilder, and yes, everyone also rolled through dog shit.
Everyone looks like they haven't showered in 8 days.
Yeah, it's fucking Victor Zsasz looks like
even
a fucking
Jim
beast.
Gordon looks like he fucking reeks.
He probably does.
In Arkham Knight,
he looks like a giant mound of shit. Like for
He
real
does. He looks like poo.
Yeah.
Like he looks
In
like
Arkham
when you have
Knight-
his shit and you see chunks of like corn and stuff in
Yeah,
it.
he is like the combination of like all the fucking shit that Arkham Asylum prisoners let out. So
it's like
He's the shit that everyone rolls through. That's why everyone's so dirty.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, he got all the acid.
He's so powerful.
No, but even in Arkham Knight, the opening scene, the most nasty ass, gross ass waitress in a diner walks up to you and goes, "It's just disgusting."
Oh fuck. Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
Spider-Man doesn't look anything like that because that would fucking suck if all the Green Goblin
The
teeth
thing
are
with
falling out of his
Spider-Man
mouth.
is everyone looks too fucking normal. Every character is just the most generic person you could possibly pick. It's awful. Like Prowler, it's everybody. The only people that don't are like Craven and Harry. Harry's not so generic. I feel like Peter's
Harry
more
looks like
generic than
Ben
Harry.
10 from the live action movie.
He does actually, and I like the way Harry looks. They made Peter and MJ more generic.
Peter is more generic.
Yeah.
I hate that they changed his face. It's the worst decision they ever could have made.
Actually,
he looks like a dude who works at your local Dick's Sports named Zach. That's what he looks like.
I'm gonna say this, and I know that in saying this, I am part of the problem.
You are.
Miles' haircut in the second game does look great. I know it's overused. It's the Killmonger haircut, and everyone hates that it's so overused because they put it on every black character in media ever now. It does look good though.
Yeah.
Aiden's holding back the rage right now. He's trying
I actually really didn't have an opinion on his
My
hair.
only issue with Miles is that he looks like you put the...
You know what I hate? No, I don't hate his hair.
No, I just don't like his fucking Colgate suit.
I hate his suit. That looks fucking dumb.
I haven't gotten there yet.
Okay.
You don't want to.
You don't want to.
You can switch that shit as soon as you get.
Yes, I will. Yeah. Anyway, State
You're
Farm
rambling.
commercial, super cool.
Doesn't look like shit. Doesn't smell like shit.
Looks good. Looks like campy, cartoony, comic booky. Just like fantastical, beautiful.
This is how you do it. Not fucking Schmoomacher, whatever the fucking name is.
Schmoomacher.
Everything's hazy and looks like toys and makes you want to fucking throw up.
Yeah, or fucking Ben Affleck Batman, where he's this wide, and then Joker
He
is a
rides
little
cool
twink
fucking...
with tattoos all over, and he's just damaged on his forehead.
And then he goes, and then Batman says, "I will fucking kill you."
I will fucking kill you.
That is the stupidest shit.
That
I
line
can't
is
believe
so
they did that.
great.
I cannot believe they did that. He's like
don't bring-
Jesus in the
don't bring-
desert.
Whatever.
Yeah. Schumacher. I can't even say it now because how'd you say it, Raiden?
I don't even know what I. Schmoomacher.
Schmoomacher.
Schmoomacher. That's what I said.
All
Schmoomacher.
right. You talk about Marvel Rivals now.
Schumacher.
Yes, who gets to speak about this weekly because they just keep updating this goddamn game.
Weekly
this
Marvel
game.
Rivals check-in.
Yeah, dude. Okay, so
Here we go. Here we goon again. Sorry.
Oh shit! We're going
there's no gooning this week, unfortunately.
I don't
Well,
believe you.
wait, hold on.
I know.
So,
Oh, sorry, I missed the Black Widow skin where she's in a bikini. Sorry, guys. I guess it just slipped in there. Oop.
not yet. That'll be for the summer fun update. So we got 2 new skins. These are both beta skins that were in the original beta that you could play as. We've got the Spider-Punk 2099 skin, which I think looks really sick. I really like it. Obviously, you don't get the guitar in the gameplay. They didn't do that. Obviously, that's a little too much to ask for. But it looks sick. He has like guitar string sounds every time you shoot your web, so that's pretty fun. It's kind of a similar thing they did with the Punk Magic skin that they did recently. And then I am a massive fan of all the 1872 skins. I think they all look phenomenal. And I want, I think I have all of them as far as I'm aware. Except for this Iron Man. I haven't gotten this Iron Man yet, although I'm pretty damn tempted because I think I love his design. I think it looks sick.
So hard.
Yeah, it's just such a fun concept. It's so cool. So those are the 2 main skins that are in the shop right now. You can get them. They're both like $20 or whatever. But there's more. There's more news. There's a new comic or series of. I think it's just one comic being written and illustrated by Peach Momoko. I think her name is.
Momoko.
Oh yeah,
Momoko. Yes.
I've actually followed her for
X-Men
like
right
a decade. It's crazy.
I saw that you were following her, and I was like, "That's very interesting." So these are the covers.
I've been following her forever, like since I got Instagram, like before she was like doing comics and stuff. Like
that is why. So yeah, now she's a comic artist, which is crazy.
Yep.
She's drawing and writing Ultimate X-Men.
Yes, I did know about that. So this is Marvel Rivals Ignite. It is about. It's a comic book one-shot. Okay, so basically the idea is that it's going to follow Psylocke, this version of her, in Japan, dealing with like this crazy
her art's so fucking good.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Every time I see it, it's just so fucking good.
And then they've said this isn't like implied. They have said that most of the designs that she's designed are going to be in the game already, probably coming out around June. So here are the designs that they've shown off. We have actually seen the Spider-Man in-game models, so we know that these are coming. And I really like these designs. A lot of them are pretty sick. Obviously,
I love that Punisher.
Yeah, the Punisher. He's all beefed up and crazy. He's got like a big-ass, very specific gun, which I like.
And Penny and Spider is fucking wild.
Yes, the Spider-Man is so weird. I
Weird.
kind of dig it.
Like
I kind of like it.
Majora's Masky. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I could see that. The Penny's really fun. I think that's really sick. Yeah. I think my favorite is the Luna. I think she's just. I really like how simple her outfit is.
Hela on the other side?
Yes, it is. That is Hela.
That one is so cool. That one is so cool.
Freaking crazy.
He's really sick. So yeah, these are in-game designs. They're all probably going to be coming to the game at some point, which is really cool. I'm glad that they were basically like, hey, you get to design these skins, and just there will be things in the game. Obviously, the art style will be different.
Hayden, what do you think of Samurai Punisher?
I actually like it.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to be like, fuck it, hate it.
That's stupid,
No,
man. He's not a samurai.
I like it. I like it.
Isn't modern Punisher more of like a samurai guy now?
Yeah, they're kind of doing that. I'm not.
They're doing something like he's more of a sword guy now.
Yeah, it's not really that great, but it's fine. It's with
too
the
violent.
new. It's with the more recent Daredevil run, the King Daredevil thing.
Yeah, I've seen him. He's got a new logo and he's got like the swords and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's. I don't know. I mean, Punisher can. I think when they have just, I don't know. It's odd. They did like years ago. Not to get off topic, but like they did like one book based on like Punisher going to Ireland, and it was like very like Knight's Tale sort of thing, where it's not like Round Table, but like swords and a little bit of wizardry there. But it was like fine for what it is. I think this has gone too long with this his own clan group thing. I'm like, that's not really.
They don't know what to do with Frank.
They don't really know what to do with Frank right now, to be honest.
At least Marvel Television seems to fucking know what they're doing with Frank.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
I mean, I wish Punisher got the level of stories that like Daredevil.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, he's really.
I think they're just too scared because he's
now. Yeah,
he's
he's
inherently violent.
And I remember when they did.
He gets race swapped and turned into Frankenstein.
Oh my god! Don't remind me of Final Days, because that. I remember reading that book as a kid. I was like, "This is probably fucked up, right? This is fucked up. Am I the only one thinking that?"
Even Luke Cage, when he meets him, is like, "What the fuck, dude?"
Yeah, and he just turns white again. I can't get into that. Yeah,
comic writers are wild.
It is the most insane thing I've. That's where Punisher stories just go off the fucking rail, and I thought Final Days could be good, and then nope, they fucked it up.
I will say very briefly before I wrap this up.
Very fun stall so Thad can eat.
You were eating earlier. The fun detail I really like is one of Hela's swords has Khonshu's skull on it, which is just a fun little detail. I don't know if it's actually Khonshu's skull. I think it's just supposed to look like his skull, but it's a neat little. Or no, I'm an idiot. It's a raven because that's her whole thing. I'm an idiot. Sorry, ignore me.
That's her dad's whole thing.
Yeah, but she turns into a raven in the game. She actually does genuinely turn into a raven. I don't know what that's all about.
Well, no, I haven't noticed.
Yeah, that's one of her abilities.
All right.
Fucking raven.
All right.
Swallow.
Let me drink the tea real quick. 1 sec. Hold on.
Drink the tea? Oh, drink the tea. Aiden's got like a cool like fucking like Jamiroquai album cover.
Got a cool Tobey Maguire 2004 press image.
Yeah, a press image where it's like the new hero, the sexiest hero alive, and it's like, yeah.
All right.
What came out this week? Oh,
so some Spider-Man casting stuff I want to talk about, right?
I don't even know about this.
I know about this. I think
none of this stuff is like major earth-shattering stuff. It's all updates or other things, but there is a credibility to each of them. They're probably legit. And I'll get into why. But I would just like to acknowledge, for a while we were in the zone before the Spider...
Oscar, sorry.
He's a good guy. For a while we were in the zone where we didn't know anything about Spider-Man 4, and we weren't even sure what was going to happen, and we didn't even... Like, there was nothing. It could have been canceled. And then we crossed a bridge... when they announced Sadie Sink, or they announced the director, we kind of thought it was, but then they announced Sadie Sink, and we're like, okay, it's like happening. Mm-hmm. And now we are in this short period where that happens with every Spider-Man movie, where we know the movie's happening, and they definitely have a plan, and we know like the bare minimum, but we don't know what the movie is yet. And this period does not last long, right? This is the Jamie Foxx is in Spider-Man 3 scenario where we didn't even know if it was going to be a multiverse movie. We just knew he was in it in some way. You know what I mean? We didn't know what that meant. And then they casted Otto Octavius, and we knew exactly what was happening, right? We are there right now, right? Mm-hmm. So remember this moment, because honestly, within a month, we'll probably know what's going on it. So the first thing is Sadie Sink came out, and then the original leaker who... threw Sadie Sink's hat out there for Jean Grey, came out, and they both sort of said that she's not playing Jean Grey. That dude explicitly said Sadie Sink is not going to be Jean Grey in Spider-Man 4. Sadie Sink was asked in an interview, what's it like to play Jean Grey in the MCU? And she goes, what? I'm playing, huh? And she was very like, that'd be cool, but that's not, I don't, you know. Yeah, and so she's probably not Jean Grey, which means she's probably one of the other options. We don't need to open up that can of worms. The second most theorized now is Mary Jane, but we don't. I don't know, man. I'm not gonna. I don't know. We just know she's
we did
probably
that last week.
We talked about
exactly.
it.
The other thing was it came from two leakers who hate each other, have come out in with rumors that are the same, which almost never happens, right? So one guy came out and said Spider-Man 4 is going to have a female villain, and it's been cast, and you're going to find out soon who it is. And then another guy came out and said, actually, Spider-Man 4 will have a female villain. They sent out a casting call for women between the ages of 30 and 50. Spider-Man 4 is probably going to have a female villain, almost certainly, because that was Daniel RPK, by the way, who said that one. You know that guy's pretty reliable, right?
Yeah.
But again, when two opposing forces have rumors that link like this, it's probably true. So, of course, Spider-Man doesn't have a lot of female villains, and he especially doesn't have a lot that are 40 years old, you know? Mm-hmm. So let me break this down. I'm just going to say it. It's not going to be Black Cat, because they're not going to have a creepy fucking 37-year-old Black Cat trying to get with a 21-year-old Peter Parker. That's not going to
It's also super not main villain material.
No, not at all. In fact, none of Spider-Man's lady villains are most likely main villain material, but yes, Black Cat is his most known one, and it's definitely not her, right? So I've compiled... There are basically two scenarios that I think there's two theories that are coming out, and it's going to be one of these two scenarios. There's three different characters here, but I'm grouping two in one scenario. And of course, at the heart of this is whether it's a multiverse movie or not, like every fucking discussion about this movie. So I'm going to go over the bad scenario first, and then I'm going to go over the one that I would really like, and I think that they could easily do if they were going to tell a good story. The bad scenario is it's a multiverse movie. Spider-Man lands in the battle world, and there's like multiple Spider-Man situation. It's either going to be Spider-Queen, who is she's the villain from Spider Island, and she sucks, and she's not good, but she's a thing, and she's a big bad, I guess. Not a very good character. The other one's worse. I didn't even know this character fucking existed. Sorry, this image is like 240p. This is like Sharsha or some frickin'...
Yes. Yep.
Shothra.
Spider-Wasp.
Yes, Spider-Wasp, but she's a multiversal villain. She's like a Cthulhu villain who eats spider totems from across the multiverse.
She's connected to Morlun.
Yes, Morlun. Yeah, she's like she's like that kind of thing. What's her name? Spider-Queen is if it's Spider Island and they're doing like a multiverse Spider Island scenario, and they're gonna have like him go there and stuff like that. And then Sharthra is like it's a multiverse and she's trying to eat these Spider-Man on Battle World or something like that. That's like the idea. I don't like either of these. I think it's not a good idea to do either of them. Both of them, the worst part is they don't have any personality at all that is interesting or unique. They are the most lame asses ever. And that is not, neither of them feel like Spider-Man villains. Neither of them feel like Spider-Man villains at all. They just are the most generic, like, evil queen, evil Cthulhu lady things. I would be so upset. The next one, and I know what you guys are going to say, this character isn't like a main villain, you know? But main villain is a weirdly vague term, like, just because I think a better way to look at it is most present villain, because there could be people behind them that are, like, sending them down to do things, right?
Well, I mean, Vulture isn't technically a main villain either, you know?
Yeah, that's true. But, you know, this one is the one, now hear me out. I think that there's a very easy way to make this work and where it could seem very logical. Silver Sable.
That's the one I was thinking of.
So here's the idea. Here's where, if they're doing Silver Sable, here's what I think it is. I think if they announce Silver Sable, I'm almost 99% sure this is the plot of the movie. I would be willing to put money on it. Silver Sable, if she's the main villain or the main present villain, this movie is 100% a follow-up to the Devil's Reign stuff from Daredevil Born Again. And she would be one of the mercenary militia people sent after specifically to get Spider-Man. Now, we know for a fact, because of Born Again's set photos, there is a vigilante task force that is going to be in season 2, like an actual task force with like suits and stuff.
And it's looking like
Silver Sable is a militia owning a like mercenary lady. That's like her whole thing, you know. So the idea would be that Kingpin hires her specifically to get Spider-Man in this scenario, and that's the plot of the movie.
Which is also kind of the plot of the first Spider-Man game.
Yes, it is. It literally is. Yes. Now, if this is the case, I will say honestly, for either of these scenarios, I think there will be a secondary villain as well, who is the marketable villain in both of these scenarios. You can't market a movie with Silver Sable entirely. I hate to say it. And you can't market a movie with fucking Shashra or whatever the fuck.
There's no hype behind any of those characters.
No. So there would probably be like a attack dog or something, or like a physical threat villain to Spider-Man who's like a powered up antagonist, right?
Yeah. Like Sable's goons are hounding him the whole time, but there's actually a bigger problem he's focused on.
Yeah, like my first thought was, again, here's my sort of, if we're gonna base it off of plots I've seen in other movies, I think the Silver Sable storyline is pretty clear, right? Fisk is in it, not very much. He's more of like a cameo role in it. And he is, you know, we know him. He's a bad guy. He hires her because, you know, Silver Sable's not an evil person. She's just like a very lawful, by the book kind of person, you know? So it would be this idea. It would be her role would be I believe in the law. I believe in like justice and no outlaws. And I'm working for the mayor because he's like the guy in charge and he's setting things straight. And I am going to go get Spider-Man because I believe that is like true justice. And then the plot would happen where eventually that character realizes, oh, wait a minute, maybe the guy who hired me is the bad guy and Spider-Man's actually not that bad like what normally happens. So my proposition is, if you need this marketable villain, if you need a marketable physical threat to build an action scene on, you know, if Silver Sable is the leader or whatever, we need a Red Hulk. I think the way to fit that in is very obviously Scorpion, easily. Like, it's the most logical scenario. Fisk gets Scorpion out of jail, puts him in a suit of armor that's designed to take out Spider-Man, and forces Sable to work with him. He goes out of line because he's a nutso psychopath, tries to kill Peter. Sable goes, whoa, I thought we were just arresting this guy. This is crazy. Maybe I'm on the wrong side. They team up and they take out Fisk or whatever. That would be like the generic plot or whatever, you know? But you need like a turning point character to be like, when you have a lawful character like Sable, you need a loose chain character to do something bad to cross over
a chaotic evil.
Yes, exactly. So that's my main. I know that is a lot to extrapolate from they're casting a 40-year-old woman in Spider-Man.
Madam Web.
But no, it's not Madam Web. Everyone's saying Madam Web, but like, she's not a villain, and there's no way they're gonna tank their Spider-Man movie by putting a character who's associated with one of the worst comic book movies that's come out in the last 3 years. You know,
the only way she would be a villain is if they did the Spider-Verse 2 thing, where the Spider-Verse goes against the main Spider-Man.
Yes, but that's just, they're not doing it. That'd be crazy. So there you go. There's my thought. I really hope it's the Silver Sable route. Really do.
I do as well, if only because that's fucking hilarious, because you're so lukewarm on the games, and that's literally the game plot.
I know, yes, I know. Well, if the game plot was like, oh, Wilson Fisk hired me, and he's mayor, and I would be like, okay, cool, but whatever. So that would also be a great grounded Spider-Man movie. I mean, Silver Sable's not that crazy. You know, that'd be a very, you know, gritty, down in the, not gritty, but like grounded to the ground sort of New York-based Spider-Man story. That'd be a really solid thing. And, you know, we've never gotten Silver Sable used well in much, honestly, but certainly not a movie.
Fucking payoff, which we've been waiting
and Scorpion payoff, and it ties into Born Again, and it also, by the way, does something which I really like. It would be making Peter not the center of attention for the Devil's Reign storyline, which I actually think is really nice. It'd be a way to include him without making him become the main guy and kind of taking it from Daredevil.
It'd be a tie-in. It'd be like a tie-in comic, basically.
Yeah. Yes. Who do they cast as her? I don't freaking know, man. I don't know.
Just some woman.
Emilia Blunt. I don't know. Anyone. You know,
somebody with gray hair, because she has gray hair.
Well, they can
or
dye
someone,
it.
or someone who's blonde, you dye it. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know.
No burr.
Put a wig on.
People are
Either
saying,
way,
I saw Leia Sado or whatever her name is.
No, I don't know who that is.
Either way, we've never gotten a woman as the main villain of a Spider-Man live-action movie before. So
There's
think
also
it's more-
there's another option.
She's
that you're not
breaking
even
through the
considering.
glass ceiling, you guys.
It could be a Sinister Six person who's regendered. You can think about that.
yeah,
Oh.
so I've heard people say that it could be like the woman Octavius or something. My thought is I still don't think they're gonna follow up any of the No Way Home villains this early. It just feels too soon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that.
Maybe if it was the next Spider-Man, Spider-Man 5, I would be like,
Yeah.
okay, maybe, but it's just happened.
Yeah.
And like Vulture's off the table thanks to this
Yep.
shitty ass Oniverse. So the only villains that they've set up that they could continue with would be Scorpion or Shocker.
Shocker.
Mhm.
Who apparently
And
might be
Shocker's-
movie too. The actor was like, maybe I'm in it. And so, I don't know.
Yeah.
maybe
That'll
he's
be
in-
like an opening fight scene or something.
yeah,
though.
exactly. That's gonna be nothing. That's gonna be yeah.
And so long as he
Shocker's
gets a
not-
costume, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, interesting stuff. But I'm telling you, soon we're gonna know what this is, and we're gonna know what this movie is. So
Okay.
Very
Alright.
soon, we're gonna start seeing some crazy shit.
Speaking of some crazy shit,
Mm-hmm.
Daredevil episode 4.
I have to take a crazy shit.
Do we need a break?
No, I'm joking.
I need to take a crazy shit, bro.
Yeah, episode 4. We got it. It's been
we got
a few
it.
days, so I'm probably not the best person to give a recap.
Boy. Aiden, do you know the plot?
Yes and no. I'm not good with fucking recapping shit. I'll be honest. I just
So
like.
I can
I
pull it up.
I will literally just go into talk about the conversation between Matt and Frank. I'm sorry.
I know, that's all my brain is locking
I'm
on.
itching to talk about it. So.
Yeah, I've got a very
It's
particular
that,
moment in my
it's
head.
that and the stupid fucking joke I made of the tiny pier model where he's like,
What is this? A pier for ants?
Oh yeah.
I've got the only moment I really got burned in my head is when he stands up and claps.
I can't.
That's
I
like,
can never get my stupid Disney Plus to load.
Okay,
right now.
And-
I can blast through it for 1 sec. I can do it. I got you. I just
top
yeah.
10 Kingpin moments of all
I gotta,
time. were
I
in
gotta
this
do it, and then I'll
episode.
take a
Oh
hot
my
break. I
God.
gotta eat my food and rest my voice.
All right.
So we open with the repercussions of White Tiger, and we're seeing White Tiger's niece almost say out loud, "I'm getting my own Disney Plus show one day." To Matt Murdock. It's actually a really well acted. That
Yeah,
little
it's
girl's
really great
awesome.
I heard there was an alternate version of that.
I'll
where
be
it's
young
gonna
Yeah, they were-
Avenger.
They were gonna have her little amulet glow when she got near it, and first of all, her name is not the exact name as the actual female White Tiger's name. It's like the older sister or something like that. So there's like some debate as if that might not have made sense. And then secondly, I just think that would have been real corny. I think it would have framed the moment like, hey, we're setting up Young Avengers, and I think that doesn't suit Daredevil. I'm just not.
Despite
And they've done that all the time in
fact
Marvel
that
movies and
show up
shows.
It should have been more. It should have been more about the death, is what it should
Yes,
have been.
it was, and they. I'm glad they played it that way. And they acknowledge it's mystical. They say it is. We don't need to have like a whoa. It's going to get its own show. So great moment, and then there's like this whole side plot. I think it's going somewhere eventually, but this dude gets arrested for stealing caramel corn, and Matt needs to talk him into getting
He's
10
such a
days.
fucking asshole.
He's
Oh,
a
but
real.
he's talking about scrolls and shit though.
And then he mentioned, I mean, they have a cool moment about the system and how it keeps you down, and I appreciate
Yes.
that,
Yeah.
but it's still like this
They
whole
do have
plot.
a poignant moment.
This,
But
this
he's-
is a
I'm
little off
hoping
track.
it goes somewhere, because if it doesn't, I'm gonna be like, why?
This is a
Oh, no,
little
I think
off
that's
track.
done. I think that was just to get some more legal work before we get the costume in the next episode.
I need to know is are scrolls public now? Do people know about that shit?
Also,
I
Oh,
I
guess.
would
assume that was
obviously.
secret.
Well, no.
If he said it, yes.
Sorry. In that awful Secret War show that nobody liked and we didn't want to think about, the president declares war on Skrulls and aliens.
Okay.
That's public
All right.
knowledge.
Okay.
Yes.
I didn't.
So, yeah,
I did not.
I just want to say,
Yeah.
the scene with Matt and the legal lady with negotiating, she's gorgeous. It's beautiful.
I knew you were gonna say I
Matt's
knew it.
Riz
I
is
knew it.
fucking. Matt's Riz
Dude.
is untamed.
It's great. I literally said when I was watching, and I literally said out loud to my partner, I was like, "Oh, she wants him." That's what
Oh,
I
yeah.
said.
He wants her.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can feel it. It's electric.
Yeah.
Well, I think he was using her. I think he was flirting with her to get the sentence lower. You know, I think Matt was
Sounds
using.
Oh my god, you've got actual
Matt's-
Daredevil glasses. What the
Matt's
hell?
into it.
But yeah, I mean, he's a flirt. It's fun to see Matt being a flirt because he's always a flirt, and it's cool. It was very in character. I'm glad they call attention to it. You know, so that you're right. I love that scene. I was like, that is just exactly what Matt would do. He's such a little. That's what he does.
He's a sly son of a gun.
He is. So that was good, and then throughout this episode there's another confrontation with Matt and the cop, and there's just so much like shit throwing, and it's like this is the second time this has happened.
yeah.
It's so
It's
funny.
a total
They hate
dick
each
measuring contest.
He keeps
Oh my
just, like,
God.
threatening this guy.
There's just fucking something stupid that happened in this episode where my brain was like, okay. I thought they were dropping fucking Latveria lore in half the episode
No.
because they're talking about fucking Latvia, and I'm like, okay, is that
That
Latveria?
is the most Blu-ray Angel, Marvel brain, Disney Plus brain
Yep.
take. You're not the only one. Other
Okay,
people,
good.
God, Disney Plus and Marvel have just truly rotted people's brains to the point where they don't even know Latvia. They think it's Latveria.
Yeah, well, the embarrassing...
Mephisto?
The only reason... This is really embarrassing. The only reason why I even knew Latvia is a real thing is a fucking joke from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That's the only reason why I was like, oh yeah, Latvia is a real
Actually,
place. That's it.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine is in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
It
Yeah,
is.
There you go.
There you
So
go.
yeah, that's-
Latveria.
every this show, there's so many moments in the show where people go, "Wow, that's a setup," and you're like, "Nope, that's just a country, man, that exists."
Yeah. Well, I was like, they keep mentioning Latvia Day. I was like, is that
Everything they
Latveria?
mention in CSI Miami is not set up for later in the episode. It's just real world shit.
I know. It was so
It's
silly.
funny.
It was
What were you
so
gonna
silly.
say, Aiden? What were you gonna say?
No, I didn't have much.
Okay, all right. I saw
Aiden's
you point.
embarrassed. Aiden's
Um,
embarrassed.
No, I just thought it was funny because I've seen a lot of people make
Okay,
that
I'm
point.
glad I'm not the only one. I'm glad I'm not the only
No,
dumb dumb.
no.
Because
No,
I felt like
No,
such a
no offense to
dumbass.
anybody, but it's like maybe you should go outside for
Maybe
a while.
Go to Latvia. Go to
Yeah.
Latvia.
Explore the world a little bit. I don't know, but
It's
maybe
just,
touch
we're
grass.
very Marvel.
take some time to explore other cultures. I don't know, but
Anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much before we get to Punisher. That's pretty much all Matt's doing this whole time.
There's a whole Kingpin
This
plot
has got
too.
this
There
like
is, yes.
Yeah.
Daniel
We get the-
fucks up. BB Urich invites him to a party, gets him drunk, and then he
Leak.
spills the beans, and fucking almost gets his head caved in by Wilson.
Yep.
And he even says, "If you do this again, it'll be the last thing you ever do." And I was like, "You're gonna say that right in front of her? Okay."
Oh yeah.
yeah,
He threatens his life, but you know what? He owned up to his mistake, and he was like, "Yo, if you want to fire me, I'm off the table." You know? So he owned up to
I
his
will
mistake.
continue to suckle your toes,
There's
Mr. Fisk.
a
I love you. You're so
fantastic-
good.
We're seeing what this is what I love. I know I'm wrong, but hear me out. In the Netflix show, Kingpin's this like super like he's usually serious or he's pissed off or he's usually like introspective, and if he's happy, he's usually with Vanessa or something. I feel like we're getting a lot more lighter. We're getting to see him more like him trying to be publicly like a better person in this show. So like he's acting not goofier, but he is definitely acting a little bit more like trying to be likable in front of people. So like him going to schools and like listening to kids sing is like fucking hilarious because he's just standing there going like, and then
I get what you're saying. In comparison to what he does in the Netflix shows, nothing he's doing is really that deep in this. So, like, yeah, he doesn't have to worry about anything. He's just there. He's just casual for him.
Well, and in the Netflix show, aside from like, I guess at the end, some more point in season 1, he comes out publicly, but he's mostly like a lot of his shit is in the shadows. Like he's not like
mostly private.
he's not in the public eye. Yeah,
he's not a
the
huge
only time
public
is
figure.
is like in the middle of season 3 when he's really in the public eye. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
but
do
he-
get the vibe that he's probably having fun. Braden's
Yeah.
frozen.
So your Braden's right, and it's a funny scene, and they We Built This Way in Rock and Roll is the perfect, most obnoxious goddamn song they could have picked for this guy. It's the cheesiest,
And the
stupidest.
kids are all off key and out of sync. Like, oh my god, that was painful.
The kids recorded too well the original time. They had to re-record the kids out of sync apparently because they were too good. That was a fun little.
Hilarious. The only thing that came out that was worth the Kingpin standing up and clapping. That needs to be a GIF. I need to see it everywhere. It's such a peak. Like,
well, it's cool. What I like about it is we're seeing how the role of being mayor is perhaps not what Kingpin expected, and I think that's really interesting.
That's
and
the whole point.
For his character.
I just liked how relatable it was because I wanted that scene to be over as fast as possible.
Well, and even his assistant or whatever, she's like, "You need to do this. We need to get counsel from the city." And he's like, "Well, I want it done. Let's make it happen." And he's like, "It's not as simple. You can't
He's not used to the red tape.
He doesn't have to. He doesn't understand the step-by-step process of getting all this stuff done."
It's not. That I think he understands. He just doesn't care. Like he wants what he wants, and he wants it now.
Yeah. Wants change happen immediately. That's what he wants.
So the one last thing I'll say about that is in the behind the scenes, they revealed that the original version of this episode from the old Daredevil was actually told in real time, and it was this. You were seeing like an hour take place in the day. And it literally was going to transition character to character in real time, not like a oneer, but like similar way that it's presented. Like you're following the episode happen. And so if you watch the show, there's a scene where a guy like gets in a car and we switch from his perspective. The car goes away. We switch to the dude sitting in front of it like pans into the guy sitting in front of the restaurant, the grocery store, whatever he robbed. That is a holdover. The whole episode was going to have transitions like that originally. So the idea was that Fisk, we were going to follow Fisk throughout the day, and then eventually he was going to get his temper built up more and more and more, and then it was going to end with him like freaking out on the kid. That was the initial structure, and then they changed it. But just to put that out there, interesting thing.
It is very interesting.
And Frank wasn't in this episode at all, actually. Originally, that was he was pulled. That scene was pulled in earlier, which I think was a really smart move, actually. But I will say, last thing I'll say, I'm pretty sure that last week I had the theory that Fisk was keeping Adam in his basement and beating the shit out of him, and I was right, and I'm so happy about that.
I gotta say, I was really disappointed he wasn't goddamn Adam Warlock. I was like,
as he was like going to it, I was like, what if?
Yeah.
Like, what if though?
I was genuinely, this is so fucking dumb, but I was genuinely like, I was kind of disappointed. We built it up so much last week that I was like, it's
no,
gotta
I was right
happen
there with
now.
you, man. I was
and
like,
then,
oh please, I swear to God,
this is
please.
This is the worst part. This is the most fucked up part. There was a part where I thought it was Foggy for 1 second. My heart like sank when we got to the long hair. I'm like, is that fucking Foggy? Because Foggy has long hair in the college.
Yes, he does.
Oh yeah, Foggy has long hair in the college. So I was like, is it fucking Foggy? I was like, there's no fucking way. And then I was like, okay, that doesn't make any sense. But it was definitely I'm mostly disappointed it wasn't Adam Warlock at this point. I built it up so much in my head. He's just a loser. He's just a bum.
Okay, I do have one thought about Adam, and I could be wrong, and I'm probably wrong. But Vanessa, when they're in couples counseling and they're talking about why Adam was appealing to her, she says it's because of his hands, because he was an artist and he drew. So I'm probably wrong. This is very Marvel-brained, but a piece of me was like, is that somehow connected to Muse? Is that like Muse's dad or a family member or something? Probably wrong. I'm probably not right. I'm probably completely off base, but they made a point about that he was an artist. Like, oh, Muse is an artist. So.
It could be. It could be.
Probably not, though. Probably completely wrong. So.
Well, there's that. I thought Muse.
All right, I'm done. Now you can talk about Punisher.
Yeah. All right. So this is what we all want to talk about.
Episode happened. It was awful. It was so painful.
Shut up. Matt goes to the scene of the crime. He finds he recreates the incident. He follows a little bottle that rolls off into a storm drain, and he finds the shell to the bullet that the cops never recovered, or the coroner never recovered, or whatever. He feels it, and I didn't pick up on this because I was like, well, how does he know where Punisher is? And
neither did I.
It's got your fucking logo on the bullet casing, and he finds Frank in his little sewer hole. He's got his guns all on the wall.
Did he know where he was living? then? That's what I want to know. Or did he like
He
smell where
probably
he
was
was?
keeping tabs on him.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
would guess.
We don't
I
know.
didn't take that. I
We
thought he
don't
like
know.
smelt the bullet and fucking
Yeah,
walked.
Yeah,
I do want a
don't
little bit.
explain, but
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
and they have a conversation that fucked me up, man.
I think it fucked
my
everyone up, to
God.
be fair. Most people
That
seem really...
conversation. It just
I will
also-
tell you, man.
impeccable
So
acting.
within because the other day when that episode dropped, it was marked 9 years since Daredevil season 2. There he is. Daredevil season 2 came out, and that was the last time you saw these guys interact. I can tell you with every fiber of my body that exceeded all my expectations of what I wanted to see them have a conversation with each other since that time. Holy fucking shit! It was. I think I even said the other day, it was like electrifying because I always found the relationship between Daredevil and Punisher to be one of the best dynamics in comic book characters ever. Just because of their morals and what they stand for, what they believe in, and they're so both goddamn stubborn of what they want and what they want to approach. This conversation just it was like the heights of emotions was just a wave because going up and down of anger, sadness, and just like everything was there. Holy shit! It was.
I think I describe it in the way where I think I describe it. It feels too real. You know what I mean? Like it genuinely does feel like real people talking, where they aren't like they're not these aren't characters. They're like they feel like real people with emotions that like can change at an instant, and you can tell they've both been very.
They've been both beaten up, man. They've been through. I mean, look at Frank.
Had a lot of Oh, he's rough. He looks.
But that
he looks like he came out of a
full-on
toilet.
basement dweller. Like that's where I want to see. Frank
Yeah,
is not stopped.
I love that
One
look.
more
for him,
detail
by the way.
about that. We can talk about the Bernthal interview in a second. But
Yes.
Bernthal says in his interview that when he talked to Marvel, he was like, I had a lot of opinions on where he would be at, where he'd be at in his life, where he'd be at with his body. And I just wanted to point out that in subsequent rewatches, Frank actually pops a bunch of pills before he's talking to Matt, which implies that his body is starting to give up on him, or it's intense pain. Like he's been through, like he needs pills just to not feel pain because he's been punishing so much, you know. So it's a little detail, but he grabs and I'm like, that's really cool that they're showing that he's like, yeah,
he's a pilly. Yeah. So it happens, and they both start crying, and it's like, oh my god.
Frank is basically taking Matt like he's a towel and he's wringing him out as much as possible just to get any kind of reaction because that's what Frank feeds on entirely. I always love, especially with Berthel's interpretation of the character, is that he brings up about his children so much. Like in Daredevil season 2 and also in his own show, mentioning like one batch, two batch, the story he would read to his daughter, but like mentioning to how if he stops moving, he sees his boy and he's like, telling the bad guys like, get him, daddy. I love that kind of like just placement of the character because now that adds so much of his trauma, even more of like different facets of how he's lost, both of his kids and his wife. But we've seen that throughout comics. But I absolutely, it was just a perfectly done scene because of how the escalation of like their dynamic goes because Matt's just trying to not have a personal one-to-one with Frank.
No.
But Frank's like, no, if you're coming down here to talk to me, I'm going to really dig into you as much as I possibly can. I'm going to break you open like a shell. And obviously, this has been a reoccurring thing that I think the past couple episodes is that slowly Matt, and you see by the end of this episode, Matt is letting the devil out, as Kingpin would put it. But
there's
God, what other better character outside of Kingpin to have Frank Castle, who's always challenged Daredevil in his thought of direction and what's right and what's wrong and how to handle these things.
And that like Matt's justification that like Bullseye got a life sentence and
yes,
Frank
he got
what
life.
What about Foggy? Did he get life?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
That fucked me up, man.
Oh, it was so. But when Matt's trying to apologize, and he's like, I love
when he hits him. He hits him. If you look at Frank, his eyes light up like he's like ready to fight, like he wants to fight. It's so cool.
He's like, yeah, come on, fucker,
And
come on.
it would have been It would have been so easy to have them fight there. Would have been so easy for them to be like, "Yep, they're gonna get into a fist fight," but that doesn't happen, and that is genius. It's a genius.
Yeah, because
decision.
you get to see in real time a physical representation of Matt letting the devil out, and then immediately being like, "No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it." Like immediately trying to shove it back in, trying to put it back.
He yelled in that episode too.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why he screamed
does.
so hard in
Yeah.
episode 2.
Yeah.
Because he probably felt fucking bad for doing that shit.
Yes.
You know?
I
But-
just love the amount of guilt that Matt has on himself. And now he's at a point in his life, like great alluded to Daredevil season 2, when Frank, like you all know, he says you're one bad day from being me. It's just, God, man, for a part of connecting that with storytelling with these characters is just perfecto, man.
It's the perfect reprisal of that relationship. This is the perfect time when that should have happened, because we have seen Matt's bad day now. This is the perfect time to see, and it feels almost like it wasn't supposed to happen this way, but it's this close to feeling like this was all the way it was supposed to happen all along. You know, like they go their separate ways, and we get to see that, you know, Frank stays in contact with Karen and tries to be a hero, tries to be a better person, doesn't really work out for him, then he gives into being Punisher, and then we get to see that Matt has lost someone and has given up being Daredevil, and it just feels like their separation and they're coming back. It feels like emotionally, thematically, the perfect way to have done that.
And Frank can look at Matt as soon as he walks in the room, and he knows that he's just hiding from himself the entire time.
Yeah, immediately. He can see it all
again,
over.
why he lights up is like, that's the real you. I'm seeing the real you come out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, he knows that he's Daredevil, which is a neat little thing, because while that's never directly acknowledged in Daredevil, it's very heavily implied. The first time Matt comes out on stage to cross-examine Frank in the trial, Frank has this moment where he's like, he's like,
it out.
Yes. So
He's not stupid.
No.
There's
something else. Like everybody else,
There's something else.
But I'll tell you what, man. Sorry, I was gonna say that was on par with like the rooftop conversation in New York's Finest in season 2, because I was like,
"Speak,
Brandon, oh my God.
Please,
sorry.
I was on. I didn't finish.
Sorry.
No, I was just saying. They also try to drag like a misunderstanding for the fact of that, like, you know, these aren't your bullets. You know, this is fanboy shit. Obviously, that's what he says. Well, he's a bunch of fanboys. You know, like they don't try to drag that on, which is nice. They don't try to make that a thing. Yeah, he calls him a pussy too, which is really funny.
I love there's 2 lines that Frank says that I really like. One of them is, he says, "I don't have time for your candy ass hero shit," which is such a great Frank line. And then his other line I love, when Matt's like, "Is this what you've been doing? Is that what you think? Where you think you're a victim?" And then Frank says, "Not once in my goddamn life have I used that pussy ass word, and you just do not put it in my mouth." And I thought that was such a fun line.
That's something my dad would say. 1,000%. That felt so like, that is so like that age of person coded that they would just hate that shit. That's my dad, straight up. I was like, God damn.
Yeah, he's just so fucking like.
He's so good.
He's so peak male. He's literally me for real.
He is. It's kind of crazy how perfect, like. Aiden, you would know because you have the most experience with Punisher. He's definitely different from the comics, right? But he has his own very specific take that he's doing.
John brings a lot to the character.
Yeah. So Thatch kind of asked me it wasn't asking me, but just like bring up a similar topic, because we were talking about Ray Stevenson's performance of Punisher from Warzone. And how a lot of people seem to prefer Stevenson just because he was more comic-like in the way that his attacks were more tactical and planned, because that's what Punisher did in the comics. But I don't think that completely overhauls of him being the best interpretation of the character. Right. I think it's a lot of the soul and essence and anger of the character.
Pose that he only saw like an era of Frank was super tactical. I feel like modern Frank is very Bernthal, just headstrong, gun down.
More. They kind of fade away from that for many throughout the years. That's definitely for sure. I think in the Max run, he was initially starting out definitely more tactical in his attacks for what he was doing. But I think what people want to focus on as well is what the roots of him becoming the Punisher was, that he was caught in a crossfire and his family was caused the action. But initially they had that for this Berthel's character, but they kind of made it into a conspiracy thriller with the first season of Netflix.
Yeah.
But I think they handled that very well because they did make it connected eventually. But I still like the idea of just having Punisher just being a victim of organized, or not just crime in general, and then this is his lash out to all of it. So it's not like a personal vendetta.
He's in this life for as long, forever.
Yeah,
So,
I'm sorry, I kind of strayed from the question, but yeah,
it's okay. Aiden's, you got the best perspective on this stuff because you know Punisher inside now. But from what I've observed, I think when you were saying, Braden, how Bernthal's different is that I think Ray Stevenson, on the surface level, the way he speaks, his demeanor is very similar to the way they present Frank. But the thing is, the way Frank's presented in the comics is you're never in his head necessarily. You're almost observing him from a distance. Like they keep him
very
his
quiet a lot of the time.
at like an arm's length in the comics. The difference with the Bernthal Punisher is they put you right in his head. They put you right in his head, right in his emotional state. They really want you to like connect yourself. The audience want to connect the audience with Frank, and that's the difference, is that Bernthal pulls you in, and then Comic Punisher frequently pushes you away. And that's interesting and relevant for this discussion because that's actually directly acknowledged by Bernthal in the article when he talks about the Punisher special. Because what he says is the story he pitched and wants to tell at Marvel is the story of how this Frank turns his back on the audience, like how he becomes that cold, arm's length kind of guy. That seems to be the story he's going for in the special. He specifically uses the word how the Punisher finally turns his back on the audience, and so I think that's going to be really interesting.
Closes himself off,
because I mean, this is, I think, of any character you can really say within a parts of Marvel, is that he's definitely one of the most flawed. And that's what makes him so interesting, that as an audience that we're so much, most of the time, arm's length with him. Because the character is entirely spoken of through action, and not what we know of his thoughts and feelings.
I mean,
we just know
he's
he's
Spider-Man villain.
Yeah. He just started off as like a hired gun, and now they made him into slightly over time, especially when he has original. Yeah, I mean, through his time with Daredevil and then into his own series. But yeah, Thatch made a great point. That is something that is super exciting about this special presentation, because now we have best of both worlds. And Thatch and I were talking about this recently with the Netflix series. I did go back and watch through most of season 2, and I still do not like it. But I really do like quite of season 1 still. Maybe it's just nostalgia, but I still I have fond memories of watching that, and I just thought it was such a amazing take, because they have like sequences towards the end of the season where Frank sees his wife, and it's such an emotional moment because he's like on the verge of dying, like he's just being the shit out of, and he's like near death. But it's, and especially the way that they interpret of how Frank slowly, he's still himself, but he opens up to certain people, and he has his way, and that's kind of what they do throughout the Netflix series, is showing Frank how he helps people, but he has to really take time to open himself up for that. Now, they really utilize most, if not all, of what I can really think of Punisher supporting characters, like notable ones, unless they make ones of their own. So that's where I'm so curious of where we're going to pick up in the special presentation, because obviously he's not with Micro, because that was like his main man in the comics, and those guys never fucking got along at all. So it's interesting because now our Micro is playing the Thing, so it's so weird to think about now. But I'm
the only character he has a connection with, and we might see this in this season, is the only character with the most consistent relationship that he has a connection with is Karen Page.
Yes.
And that's unique to this version of Frank, where they have this bond. And so I wonder if Karen will actually be in that Punisher special. Like
I would hope so. I think she brought so much that first season as well. So
yeah, she's in the second season too. She's in both.
Yeah.
She's playing Jean Grey.
It's interesting on that topic of Bernthal wanting to tell the story of how like he turns his back on the audience, like you said. I really do see Born Again and the Punisher special as like in almost a No Way Home level of seeing these characters become the more comic booky, true blue like MCU versions of them, like Daredevil season 1 through 3, and this are like really the big picture origin story to get to comic book Daredevil, whereas the Daredevil season 2, Punisher season 1, 2, and then seeing Frank become the like definitive, refined comic book Punisher. Like it is like a big picture story arc.
Yeah. It's cool. That's what's great about the Netflix shows is they were so detailed with their character development and writing that all of that feels very earned and natural, especially with Frank. Oh my, like he's the most three-dimensional version of Frank Castle I think that's ever existed. Like,
will ever exist.
I don't think they'll ever top of, especially because he had technically, when including Daredevil, 3 whole seasons of his character. Up to this point, I'm just so floored of how well they've done it, and it's like a portrayal of the character through an actor can only do so much. We've seen that in so many times, but I feel like, and especially they screwed up Punisher 3 times before of trying to. I mean, like the Thomas Jane, I kind of like, but it's not really through. I don't know. It's not. It's fun to watch. That's really it. Yeah, it is. It is.
It's the same.
And the Dolph Lundgren one from '89 is nothing. I can make a whole episode talking about why that movie does not work in any regard.
It's also we're so lucky because Charlie Cox and John Bernthal are the like perfect Robert Downey Jr. level castings for these characters.
Definitive.
And Bernthal cares so much about the character too.
Yeah,
when you have an actor who cares that much about their character, it's like you've got something special.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Again, going back to that article, he confirms in that article that he walked away from Born Again. The original version, he walked away. He was officially cast a while back, and then the strikes happened, and he walked away like right before the strikes. I think is what I'm theorizing, and because he didn't like the direction they were doing with Frank, and he didn't think the audience would like it, and he just said no. I don't know who the fuck has ever said no to Marvel like that. That's crazy. Those are some titanium balls. That's why he's the Punisher.
John Bernthal's got the most titanium balls of any man ever.
Oh yeah, he does.
Crazy.
Yes. And so
doesn't take naps.
What's interesting though, if you look at that timeline, it goes Born Again's announced, then Bernthal's announced. Born Again starts shooting for like a month or two, and then then the strikes happen and it goes under, and then somewhere in there Bernthal quits, and then somewhere in there they decide to rework Born Again. I genuinely believe Bernthal leaving was the straw that broke the camel's back for them deciding to rework it. It just lines up too cleanly. Mm-hmm. Like, it had to be a massive contributing factor for them going, oh shit, maybe we should rethink this thing. Because Charlie Cox had voiced concerns, D'Onofrio voiced concerns. They didn't walk away. Bernthal was like, nah, I'm not doing it. Yeah. And if that happens at Marvel, you almost have to reassess what you're doing. You have to, and you can't tell this story, by the way, with these dirty cops without the Punisher. You can't do that. There's no way that would play out at all.
I will say, too, we've got Punisher coming back. We know that, obviously, this season. When he shows up again, he looks kind of fucked up. So he clearly does some fucked up shit this season.
Oh, yeah. We know he's coming back in this season. Yes, we know that.
Yeah. And based off the photos I've seen, he's not looking too good. He's rough.
Well, he's looking like he just punched some motherfuckers. Is what he looks like.
It looks like he turned someone to jam.
Oh yeah.
He probably does.
Yes. Yeah.
He has the full-on fucking Mario with the machine gun, like blowing Bowser.
I'm curious to see what. I'm very curious to see what Matt thinks of that. I want to if he kills someone. I don't know if he actually kills anybody or whatever. We'll see.
I am curious as well because I'm really thinking Matt's gonna be like, all right, whatever, man, do what you got to do.
I think honestly, this Matt, I think he will. I genuinely
I don't think he's going to try to fight people anymore on that. I think he's just like, you know, I tried.
Yeah,
you know,
I think he's gonna be like, you're a force of nature, and I just need to let it happen.
I can't stop you, man.
And I need that force of nature to get this shit done.
Yes,
Wow.
I require it. Yes.
And people are gonna be. It's a very interesting discussion right there. That's a very.
It is. I'm very excited. It's actually a discussion I wanted to explore in videos a long time ago. That idea of a person that doesn't want to kill people, but also allowing someone to do it. But so it's cool to see that actually kind of playing out in something.
It does also. It plays into like Matt didn't try to kill Bullseye himself. He was like, I'm gonna let the ground do this.
Yeah. Yes.
So Punisher's the ground.
Yeah. So the other thing I wanted to say is that he did confirm that Marvel had his exact quote was something along the lines, Marvel had a plan for Punisher, and I'm very grateful and glad that I get to be the one to show how we get there. Like, they have a aim for Punisher, and now he's like, what's good is I get to be the one to show how that happens. So it's nice knowing. Yes, it's nice knowing that Marvel isn't just like, we'll put him in Born Again, and then I guess the guy had a cool pitch, so we'll do the special. And I don't know. They seem like they have an intention with Punisher, which is good, because he is a big part of the Marvel Comics universe. Like, in the comics before the MCU, that dude was one of the big ones.
Which is actually very reassuring because...
movies, you know?
He was so popular in the 80s, they gave him 3 book titles at the same time.
He had movies.
Yeah, well, and the only other character that had that was Spider-Man. So that tells you, like, the popularity of...
Was the Punisher the second Marvel movie ever?
After, what, Howard the Duck?
Yeah.
I think so.
There was the old Captain America and Thor stuff with the goofy ass dollar store costumes.
Yeah.
But, like, full theatrical, I'm saying. Like, not, like...
I don't know, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't remember.
That's worth a Google. That's worth a Google.
89.
But no, I mean, you're right, Aiden. He had 3 comics running at the same time in the 80s. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but
so weird how Marvel in general has like their whole like the whole the popular character. Don't get me wrong, like Spider-Man, Wolverine is still huge, obviously, right? But like the Avengers weren't a big deal back then, you know. Iron Man certainly wasn't a big deal.
The Avengers weren't a big deal for most of their history.
Yeah, which is wild. That now
the hierarchy of Marvel was completely different in the 90s than it was after Avengers. Like, completely changed.
It's nuts.
Just hearing that Marvel has a plan for Punisher, though, makes me feel so reassured, because obviously they haven't had a plan for anything for most of Phase 4 and 5. So to know that there's like even a character as small as Punisher has a plan in mind is crazy and is so nice.
It's great. It's refreshing and
it's good so far.
Keeps me hopeful because it's like I really don't know what kind of story outside of where we're gonna be with Frank's perspective of what kind of like I'm racking my brain like of what villains they're gonna do, because Punisher doesn't have the biggest rogue gallery.
Bushwhacker.
You're not doing Bushwhacker.
They gotta do Bushwhacker.
I would love it, but I'm hoping Barracuda.
Fucking cast fucking Woody Harrelson as Bushwhacker.
Well, you know, the other thing about Punisher in the comics is Punisher is a character that works extremely well as an accent to another storyline. Like, there's a storyline where Spider-Man goes to this bar, the bar with no name, where they're having a funeral like service for one of Spider-Man's villains. Spider-Man goes there to pay tribute or whatever, right? And it's a Spider-Man story, goes in there, pays tribute because he's like, oh, you're my enemy, but I don't want anyone to die, so I'm gonna pay respects. Spider-Man leaves, and then Punisher gets up from the bar and fucking guns down every single guy in the bar. That's the kind of shit.
He's the perfect character to contrast any hero off of, because he's what any hero could become.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. And he's not like, he doesn't like, I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm not, you know. He's so like. He's like, fuck you, I hate you, I'm gonna kill you.
I'm so sad they told Civil War so early, because Punisher has a great moment in Civil War where he's carrying Peter Parker's like bloody body and he goes, give me a damn medic, and it's like this really cool scene. So
Doesn't Punisher have some sort of respect for like Captain America or
He
something?
does.
Yes, he does.
Deeply respects Captain America.
Well, now they can tell. Maybe they can do. Well, they're not going to. I don't think those.
No,
Well,
they're not. But I would love to see them
Yeah.
acknowledge that in the
Acknowledge
MCU. That Bernthal should have respect for Captain America would be awesome. That would be great.
Probably never going to meet, but it would be like.
Oh,
yes.
well, no, because Captain America is a fucking 60,
Oh,
70
yeah.
million-year-old man in a different timeline.
He says
Yeah.
he actually says to one of those dirty cops that wears the Punisher logo. By the way, we're wearing the Punisher logo. I want to say it is not in any relation to the cops that put the freaking Punisher sticker on the back of their window. We are not those guys. But
is,
no,
yeah.
in that storyline, he takes off one of those stickers, tears it up, and the cop goes like, "We idolize you. You're like our role model." And Punisher goes, "You want a role model? You should pick Captain America, not me," or something like that. He says something, and it's such a great moment. Yeah, there you go.
Metallica. That's all I got.
No, they did. They did team up. They did team up in a couple.
The first trailer.
There
First
was,
trailer
I don't
for
remember if it was a 616 story or if it was an alternate timeline, but Punisher has become Captain America at certain points.
Interesting.
And he didn't like it. He never likes it.
Yeah, he should.
Aiden, wait. This is a Punisher reference, isn't it?
It's not. It's not one though.
Well, it's a reference. It's Metallica. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
So it's a Punisher
But,
reference.
I will take it. I will take it.
I think one of the storylines where he becomes Cap, he does go off the rails with it, and then Cap has to like knock some sense into him.
Knock him out.
Yeah, but his history with Cap is very interesting.
Interesting. I just can't wait to see more of his character. I mean, again, when you have someone like Bernthal who is so passionate about it, you care, and someone like Charlie Cox who's so passionate about Daredevil, and someone like Vincent D'Onofrio, Kingpin. All these people are so passionate about their roles that you want to see what they want to do. You want to see them do more, and you want to see them be the best that they can be, because you're just like, man, they are bringing so much heart to this role. It's so this episode is phenomenal. Just and like it is.
We're saying it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I wish that Tom Holland was as deeply invested in the core of Spider-Man as Bernthal is in the core of Punisher.
Yeah, he likes Spider-Man, but he's definitely
he likes, but he doesn't want to take ownership.
No.
Yeah. He's not. He doesn't know what's best for Spider-Man.
Right.
No. Yes. Yeah.
He's not like he's more like.
I'm hoping. I mean, we'll see how this new Spider movie is, man. It might be terrible. It might be stupid, but technically he's a producer on it, so I hope he learns something through that experience.
And it's weird when you were talking about that. By the way, just quickly going back, just very briefly, you were talking about the obscure villains. I'm like, I cannot see Tom Holland being like, well, let's make this fucking weird spider creature the woman. Like, I can't see.
You can't imagine Tom interacting with that because he shouldn't.
No, hell no. He'd be like, what's going on? What's happening? Who are you?
That'd be like fucking the wizard from Thanos' the Children of Thanos being the main villain. Like his interaction with the wizard is not. It's fun, but it's not inspiring.
The wizard.
I don't remember what his fucking name is, man.
Ebony Maw. It's Ebony Maw. It's Ebony Maw.
I don't know why you remember that, bro. That's crazy.
Because I love those guys.
It's noting. I don't know how it would happen.
Ebony Maw, Corvus Glaive, and Proxima Midnight.
I'd love to see Tom Holland and Bernthal together in MCU.
I'd love to see
now.
I'd love to see Tom Holland, Bernthal, Charlie Cox, and Vincent D'Onofrio together.
I know, and it's stupid because Tom Holland and Bernthal have been in a movie together twice now because they're also going to be in the Odyssey together, and it's like you'd think they would like.
You think they'd be like, "Hey, Marvel,
will they interact? We don't know because we don't know who Bernthal's playing, but."
I mean, either way.
Apparently, they were preparing their auditions for each of the characters together because they both got cast around the same time, which is crazy, man. That's like,
I will say, even if we don't
Tom
see
Holland
them together,
is actually playing Matt Damon's son in that movie.
Yes. Yeah.
I was gonna say, even if we don't see them together, which we should in like an actual project or something, it would be great. We know for a fact they're gonna probably share some time in Secret Wars, even if a brief, tiny little moment.
I don't know if Bernthal's going to be in Secret Wars. I got to be perfectly honest with you.
Although Marvel has a plan for Punisher, so maybe
they do. Maybe, yeah. But
even a brief, he'd be in the.
It's just I just
Bernthal
can't.
Wouldn't like that. I don't think.
Here's the thing: Bernthal's also like he doesn't want the Punisher to show up if it isn't a meaningful like appearance. He's not a cameo guy, you know.
I don't think. I mean, I would love to see the other characters, but he does not fit anywhere within Secret Wars.
Standing next to fucking Birdie or whatever.
Unless he puts on that War Machine armor. Just saying.
No, fuck that. No,
he lifts his helmet up and it's a CGI.
Maybe that's the big picture plan.
Wait, hold on. Reset the scene. Reset the scene. It's the exact same
It
shot
quits.
as
It's done.
Pepper.
It's out of here.
It's the Pepper shot. Hold on.
Fuck.
It's the Pepper shot where War Machine lands down, the helmet lifts up, and it's a CGI John Bernthal face going,
floating head. Oh, God.
It looks like Hulk from Infinity War, where his head's just floating in there, and he's like, "Oh, he's got his vest on.
He's
got his
asserting
bulletproof
dominance.
vest." It's funny that we mentioned this, by the way. I just convinced my mom we're gonna go back and we're gonna finish Daredevil, and so happy about that.
I hope she likes it.
You should restart it from the beginning because I imagine it's been a long time.
She remembers season 1 pretty good. She doesn't remember season 2, so we're gonna rewatch season 2. I'm just gonna fill in the gaps for her. Season 2 is gonna be rough, and then I'm gonna have to explain the events of Defenders because we're not fucking touching that. And then I think I want to watch Punisher. Now, is Punisher pretty accepting to new? Like, can you just go into it?
Yes.
Okay.
It is the most disconnected of any of the shows.
Do you need to watch season 2, or is it good? Can you just leave it off?
You don't need to watch season 1.
Well, I know you don't need to, but I'm saying, like, can you avoid?
I like season 1, but you don't need to watch it. Frank chatting up a girl at the bar, and then they sleep together.
It's not good goddamn reason to watch season 2 at all.
Okay. I was just curious if it like
the only this isn't even. It's not even worth watching. But the only significance is at the end. The FBI calls him and asks him if he want to work with them, and he goes, "Nah, I'm committed to being Punisher." And then he commits to being like a vigilante Punisher, which is a unique thing because in the MCU, the Punisher for a while in the Netflix show wasn't a vigilante. He was just a vendetta guy against specifically the criminals that killed his family, and then he changes an overall vigilante at the end of season 2. But season 1 opens with him killing a bunch of people that wronged him, and then giving up because his mission's done. Like that's how season 1 opens. He goes, I did it. You know.
All right. Well, we might not watch. I just figured it'd be a nice show because it's easier for my mom to understand than a lot of this other shit. So
your dad might like it.
Your dad would probably like it. I think your mom would probably get bored.
Okay.
Yeah. It's very like war trauma. Like
she likes psychological stuff. So I don't know. Maybe she'd be a fan of that.
Maybe.
She likes character study.
I would see how she reacts to season 2.
Season 2.
Yeah. Maybe do season 2 Daredevil, season 3 Daredevil, and then do Born Again, and see if ask her if she wants to see more Punisher, and then go from there.
I think because he's the best part of that season. So I really want to.
I
want to rewatch season 2 just for him. That's like I want to watch that because his scenes are so good. And then you cut to like fucking Elektra and Daredevil fucking, and I'm like, ugh.
I don't get why I don't get why season 2 gets so much hate. All the flashback stuff is great.
I hate Elektra. I'm sorry. I hate her so much. I hate her. I'm so glad she's dead. I can't stand her.
She'll probably bring her back.
She'll be back.
I know, but I hope they fix her because she's so lame. She's like, hey, I'm going to make Matt Murdock the worst version of himself for the next 6 episodes. Yay.
That's pretty accurate.
I know, and I'm not saying that I don't like it in the comics either, man. I just hate.
Look, it's basically
she's a bad influence. She's a bad person.
Is
very bad.
And then the stupid hand, they just fucking. They're like, what if the cool ninja organization were a bunch of rich people in a boring ass gray building? Wouldn't that be cool?
Led by Sigourney Weaver.
If you don't watch Defenders, then the hands are still just. So it's fine.
I'm not touching Defenders. Didn't Daredevil or no? It was the episode.
You probably watch like the first 2 episodes of Defenders and then like the last one and be good.
There's the guy with the fucking cool like shredder guy that they tease and then never follow up on. Right?
Oh yeah, the dude with. There's a big scary buff guy with his shirt off.
He's sitting there in like a fucking Japanese building. He's going like, "We will kill them," or something like that.
And then they never acknowledge it again after that in Daredevil. It's one of the biggest hangs.
It's very strange.
And no, because Stick comes in and crouches and is like, he's not ready for the war, and then the camera pans with this big buff muscular guy across from him.
I don't know
It's
who the
yeah,
fuck that was
Stick
supposed
and
to be.
Stone. That's what it is.
His name's Stone.
Stone? That's Mr. Stone.
Yeah, that was Mr. Stone. Yeah, I remember Thatch telling me about that. I was like, I completely fucking forgot.
Oh yeah, I was at the airport and I was like, "Remember that guy?" And Aiden's like, "No," and I'm like,
no. He never did anything with that
Once.
again.
And he's in
And they
complete
shouldn't, because
shadow.
Stone was nothing noteworthy from what I researched. And I'm like, no.
Oh, was his name actually
why they
Stone? I
never
thought you
brought
were
this up
fucking with
again?
No, his name is Stone. Yes.
Yeah, it
Oh
is
my
Stone. Yeah. It's like when they have those comic titles are like Sticks and Stones.
Maddie, you gotta fight the war, kiddo.
Maddie, you smell like shit. Get the fuck out there. Yeah, there he is.
Yeah, there he is. There
You
he
know what it
is.
looks like? Do you guys see that teaser image from Peacemaker Season 2, the guy at the campfire? I literally thought of him.
I can't. I don't even know. You're showing hell. I don't know. That's
Come on,
hell right
please.
there.
No,
I don't
it's
know
a.
what that is.
He's got his.
Send in pod pics.
I'll send him pod pics. It's the best image ever.
I want to see it because Stone is a fucking. His only cameo was. That's his whole thing.
Yeah, his only cameo is Braden trying to shake his ass, but he has none.
I wasn't shaking my ass.
Not again.
I was holding my back. Not
Look at
again.
them. Look at him, guys.
What the fuck? Why does he look like that? What is
Wow.
this deal?
Jesus Christ! Why is he covered in cum?
Bro!
Oh,
He and Stick were having a good time. I don't know what else to tell you.
he was having a good time with
Sticks and stones, man. Sticks
That's
and
for sure.
stones.
Sticks and stones.
All right, I think we're done. I think that's a wrap.
Daredevil's peak.
Peak. We'll be back next week for 2 episodes of Daredevil.
Yeah, 2. One of the best ones apparently.
All right. Fucking hell.
It's gonna be